The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes down, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party. The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes down, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday to those in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight's topic is Pnp Political Giants with your host, Baron and Anne-Marie. Later on, we'll be joined by Mr. Rastafari. Unfortunately, Maria will not be able to join us tonight, but albeit well, she will be back next week. So thank you guys for your continued support, and remember to support Daisy Magazine at master.com/p/Daisy. So let me just welcome everyone in the chat. Youngans, Dorothy McCoy, Don Mel, Ursel Bundy, Beverly, Truck Life, Marcia Mara, Carla Ebanks, Patel Cruikshank, Fitzroy Nugent, Ronnie Swaby, Anthony R., Maxine Cummings, Louis Longshaw, Yvonne Johnson, Florence Brown, Rosa, Melford Campbell, Sharon Samuels, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining in. Remember, guys, when you come in, all we ask for is a thumbs up. Please just give us a thumbs up. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Ekran Sound System, welcome. Without any delays, I'm going to hand over to Baron.
All right. Thank you, honey, for that. As always, wonderful presentation in terms of welcoming our wonderful listeners who always, right, visit us, right? And of course, for the facts as it relates to our politics, right? Now, my wonderful people, I want to say big thanks for the continuation of support, right? I think, to be honest, we are overwhelmed with the support that we are getting, and I want to say big thanks to all of our subscribers, right, and people who are tuning in. I want to say continue to support us because, of course, You are the pillar of strength, right, that pushing us along, right? And so then without you, I will always say that there will be no us. And so then we have to respect each and every subscriber, right? Persons who subscribe to us, right? Because of course they want to make an informed decision, right? And they want to know the truth, right? And so this is the reasons why, we do our research, right? I want to say, big thanks to all vloggers, right, who are coming out, right, speaking the truth, facts check, right? And, of course, we have to, again, big up Wayne Lonesome in this space, right, is the root of where, us really sprung from, right? The Titans and so forth and so forth. So having said that, my Jamaican people, you have heard that we spoke, as you see the thumbnail, we presented the 3 People's National Party political giant, and there is no doubt, right? When we talk about wisdom, when we talk about knowledge, when we talk about talent, political talent, so rich, right? And the parliament, let me say that, is just waiting, right, in such an anticipation, right, to have these persons sit as our representative, right, as it relates to being in parliament. We can't wait as a result of the so many resources of talent, right, when it comes to a Damian Crawford, right? Talented, right? Skillful political technician. When it comes to an Isaac Buchanan, oh my God. Well, you know that's where solid critics as it relates to Isaac Buchanan, who has been there, done that, and accomplished a lot. And Isaac Buchanan is one of the examples that many youths of today would want to emulate, right? Many youths would want to emulate an Isaac Buchanan, coming from where Isaac Buchanan coming from, right? Where, I would say, of course, you have society curveballs that throw at Isaac Buchanan, but he was able, right, to get over, those hurdles, and, what a comeback as it relates to Isaac pursuing education, right, pursue a degree in law, and where Isaac is one of the humanitarian instrument that we have seen now being utilized, right, to give justice, right, to many people who weren't getting justice. And of course, another power pack in St. James, powerful, right, when we talk about Alan Bernard. And people, we are going to have Alan Bernard and City Hall, Wayne Lonesome, not this Sunday, right, but the following Sunday. Alan Bernard is the next sea of talent, right? And he has been busy in his constituency, right, doing so much. Alan Bernard is doing. Alan Bernard, anyway, they big up yourself, my boss. You understand? We love the performance that you're doing. And just imagine that the incumbent government, right, is not doing half of what Alan Bernard is doing. And yet, right, Alan Bernard is reaching milestone upon milestone, being there as it relates to the school project, out there for the youths, right, being there for the youths, you understand, creating social programs, and trust me, fund what he can fund. It's amazing, right? I want to say to you, Alan, because I know the work that you have been doing, and we are going to expose some of those, display some of those works that you are doing, right? I want to say continue to do the good work, and just imagine, right, that you are doing it now, and when you are in, right, Parliament, you will represent us very well, no doubt about that. Now, having said that, people, my goodness, woo, East Portland on fire. East Portland is just blazing. And let me say this, what we have seen at East Portland is a message that I've been sending, right, as it relates to where Mark Golding and the PNP, right, coming from, right, where, you know, Andrew Holness was leading in the poll and Mark Golding now overtook him, right, and where, as it relates to favorability, that Mark Golding is now leading in the poll at 39%, and the Prime Minister is trailing at 30%. And 9% out of the margin of error, that is signaling a landslide. And honestly, as I said, people, I do believe that Mark Golding is really leading much more than that. But as time progresses and the Prime Minister hold on, not wanting to call the election, it is going to get even rather worse for the Prime Minister. And let me say this to the Prime Minister. After December 6th, trust me, Andrew Holness, trust me, the Jamaica Labour Party administration, it is going to get very, very, very bad, right? And you're going to be plummeting in the poll. Remember, everything that I have stated, right, had come true, right, as it relates to, you know, Mark Golding and the PNP progress in the poll. And I am glad, let me say this, I am glad that the Jamaican people are listening, glad that the Jamaican people are processing the information, and very happy that they realize, right, what has been happening as it relates to between the two political philosophy, GLP that represent capitalism, and the People's National Party that represent democratic socialism. And that is where we stand. But let us get back, right, to the atmosphere, right, in East Portland. And the thing is, I want to say to Jamaica Labour Party, right, I mean, can't you behave, I mean, professionally as it relates to, you know, checks and balance and
Being fair.
you know, being fair? Because we have seen that, of course, Isaac Buchanan, right, as this thing in East Portland, and what Mrs. Valls decided to do. Mrs. Valls decided that she's going to be, you know, vindictive, right, obstructive. And come on, Mrs. Valls, we know that you and your husband, you understand, is of this caliber, right? The rotten behavior. So we really don't really expect anything better, you know, Mrs. Valls, right? And this is the way how you want to represent Jamaican people. Let me tell you something, Darrell Valls and Mrs. Valls, Jamaican people is not going down the road in terms of violence. And let me tell you the reason why they are not going down the road as it relates to any political violence. Majority of Jamaican people know that you are enriching, you all are enriching yourself, right, and taxpayers' money, right, all enriching on yourself as it relates to, you understand, you know, SSL crisis that we have, right, and different mediums that you guys use to enrich yourself. The Jamaica Labour Party administration have no interest, absolutely no interest as it relates to good governance. Some of which Rattigan and myself will be breaking down as it relates to how members of parliament, particularly Jamaica Labour Party political representative, right, how they use, right, certain foundations, right, to enrich themselves. Rattigan and I, we will be breaking down that tonight. Shell companies that they have been utilized, right, to do what? Right, to create atrocities against the Jamaican people. We know that Jamaica, right, is partially broke as a result of the atrocities that Jamaica Labour Party administration had done. And we have evidence, right, some of which we are going to prove in very detailed way so that people can understand. And they know that, Mystic Sensation is not lying, right? Because if they believe that Mystic Sensation is lying, come and challenge Mystic Sensation. You understand? And we present the facts. We deal with the facts, and we do, right, 100% deep dive research. Now, as a result, let us show the behavior, right, of the Jamaica Labour Party administration. And I am not going to just put this only on Mrs. Vaz. It represents, right, the modus operandi of the Jamaica Labour Party. This is the way how they behave. From in the late 70s, as it relates to what they had done, the Eventide home that they had burnt down, and the political violence that they had done over the many years, we know that this is a party that deals with violence. So let us look at one of the examples exhibited by Mrs. Vaz, who should have known better, a legislator, right? And if she's someone who has any moral, right, order, she wouldn't have done what she did, right? And, she came out doing construction on a Sunday, and where it is illegal to carry out construction on a Sunday. So it goes to say that here is the Jamaica Labour Party administration bent in breaking the law, right? And yet they are criticizing the PNP, right? To have Isaac Buchanan, who Isaac Buchanan is a beacon of light, right? To many of our ghetto youths, right? God bless you, Isaac Buchanan. So without any further delay, I want to show you, right, the double down with Cliff Hughes, who everyone knows that Cliff Hughes is the JLP spin machine, right? No two way about that. But we are going to burst his bubbles tonight, and we are going to reveal certain evidence, right, which we all know. But we're just going to remind Cliff Hughes, right, as it relates to him doubling down, and based on the crowd support that he had seen in East Portland, a bad man, and corrupted, right? And so then they are trembling. Andrew Holness is trembling. The entire party is trembling, because they know very well, my people, that the day that the People's National Party took over the administration, right, the office, and becomes the incumbent government, right, people are going to be in trouble. So they are doing their best, right? And as you heard them said, by any means necessary, they want to hold on to power. Now, without any delay, I want to share, right, Mr. Cliff Hughes' despicable, let me use that, opinion, doubling down, right, looking at Isaac Buchanan, right, as the least of them all, right? And yet, Isaac Buchanan, right, as it relates to critical thinker, cannot be compared with a Dalrymple. A Dalrymple who is a legislator. Let me say it. That's if Dalrymple is listening to me. A Dalrymple who is a legislator and ought to set example. A Dalrymple, right, who once was the Speaker of the House, who had disgraced herself by breaking the law, right? A Dalrymple is an old horse, one what we call political dinosaur. And when you have a political dinosaur where people supposed to look on this person, and this person supposed to apply moral order and ethical principle, right, had totally failed, right, in terms of involved in the corruption she had involved in. However, we hear, right, a lights like Cliff Hughes coming out, doubling down, right, critiquing Isaac in a very despicable way. Without any delay, let us hear him, my people. Right? Cliff Hughes continues to blush. Let us hear Cliff Hughes doubling down.
The political parties continue their activities. The comrades were in Portland, in East Portland. Yeah, and if you're on our YouTube platform, Nationwide 90 FM Live, you'll see some of the scenes there from the comrades. They were in East Portland to present Isaac Buchanan that was Saturday evening, I think it was, Saturday evening, yes. Isaac Buchanan will be the PNP's prospective candidate, yeah, when nominations begin for the next general elections. He'll be up against Anne-Marie Vaz, yes, and that is going to be closely watched for several reasons, of course. Isaac Buchanan, a controversial former ex-criminal who served time twice in prisons for running cocaine, drugs. He's going to be on the ticket, yes. Have we ever had in Jamaica a man, ex-man, convicted for drug running on a parliamentary slate? Yeah, running for parliament. Have we ever had that? You can tell me. Yeah, but we live in a new world, you know, a new world where you're a committed criminal, convicted criminal, and that does not stop you from being elected in a decisive way to the most powerful political office on earth, that of President of the United States of America. So will that be an issue here for Mr. Buchanan and the people of East Portland? I don't know. It's a new world where I know nothing in doing time. Yeah? So what? Yeah. And the PNP president, in presenting Mr. Buchanan, yeah, says he's getting ready to challenge Anne-Marie Vaz for the seat. Here's a clip from the PNP president, number 5, Kevin.
I never hesitate when I say, yeah, him ready. And Colin Bill say, yeah, they will work with him. And all of the other comments in the place say, yeah, they will work with him too. We say, yeah, got you, Isaac. Your time now, time come. I want back, I want to tell here, Eastern Portland.
Mark Golding, yes. In reference to Buchanan's criminal history, he defended him with quotes from the Bible. He described Buchanan as righteous and wise and praised him for his role in getting the court to release dancehall star Vybz Kartel from prison.
Jesus said, who without sin cast the first stone? And none of them are without sin. A bare sinner. So them can't tell you nothing. It's a righteous youth. It's a youth with wisdom and understanding. It's a youth who carry a big case to the Privy Council and mash it up so certain man could come a roll. I mean, also the man that will never forget the service that this man gave. Second break.
Did you hear that? So the PNP president going all in.
Take him away, honey.
Yeah, in defending the proposed candidacy of Mr. Buchanan.
Out of the garbage.
Take him away, right? As you said, honey, out with the garbage, right? That despicable gentleman there. So let me ask Cliff Hughes something. As what Mark Golden said, let me take the button where Mark Golden handed it over. Mark Golden said, who without sin should cast the first stone? But this goes to show you how hypocritical Cliff Hughes is as it relates to currently that he's breaking the law. And we are going to show evidence of that. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a criminal act. However, you don't pay any regards that you are breaking the law, but you find time to criticize Isaac Buchanan while you currently breaking the law. What Mystic Sensation is talking about? Well, let me present the evidence. Let me present the evidence. Honey, please present the evidence to the people that Cliff Hughes, as he had spoken, is currently breaking the law. Let us put that evidence. Let us put that evidence. You and I, Cliff Hughes, we are getting there. But yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. I want the people them to see it. Right? That, of course, is a criminal offense, Cliff Hughes, in terms of you not paying your tax. And here it is, people, big and bold, right? That Cliff Hughes' total arrears is $65 million, $170,781.64. Cliff Hughes, what you have done right here is a criminal offense. A criminal offense in the sense that, of course, you're denying the revenues of the government. And you should be charged accordingly. But remember now that you're the spin machine for a corrupted party. And so, of course, they overlook that you have in arrears, a total arrears of $65 million. Now, we know that the Prime Minister, right, doesn't mind because he himself is diverting from paying tax to the country. And so then, here you are, we understand that you will defend the Jamaica Labour Party corruption because they are saving you from paying your taxes. Evidence number one. Take it away on it. Now, I am coming out, right? And let me say this to all the Jamaica Labour Party administration, no matter what you are doing, and all the political sabotaging, all the political spinning, all the mind games that you're playing, right? I tell you, Father God said we come, right, to deliver our people, right, from the city of Babylon. And we are going to provide the truths, the facts to them, right? No, we understand that you're getting nervous because when you have witnessed what Isaac Buchanan was able to do in Portland and the energy that permeated through the entire Jamaica, it caused what we call a political shockwave. And so then, of course,
Can I just say something regarding Isaac Buchanan?
Of course,
continue.
Of course.
These political spin doctors keep talking about his past and what he has done. Now, what he had done was out of maybe youthful exuberance and he was impressionable and he got himself into trouble. But the fact of the matter is he rehabilitated himself. He pulled himself up by the bootstraps and now he's a very successful lawyer. Unlike these criminals that we have now in our government,
True.
that have their current criminal behaviors hanging over their heads. Isaac Buchanan, he did the crime, he did the time. And I think his records have been expunged because he is now a lawyer.
You're right.
I just want to read something about the ultimate measure of a man. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moment of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And that is by Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Well, Oni, I think your input, right, was wonderfully stated. And I love how you put that out there, right? And so, Oni, we really appreciate that. Well, I tell you something, you know, as I always say, when you have a strong man, most of the times, right, you have women who are supporting their husband. And you see my wife here tonight in full support, right, of the mission, right, to make sure that we are talking about nation building. And that is one of the reasons why we are here, because we love our Jamaican people. And we want to come home to a Jamaica that we are contented with. And so, right, you know, we are fighting here. And we are not going to allow, right, the Jamaica Labour Party administration, where we know, because we have the evidence of the atrocities, right, that brought against the Jamaican people. We have the evidence.
Sorry, one more quote from Martin Luther King on
Yes.
Martin Luther King Jr. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. If you want to see the true measure of a man, watch how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. The measure of a man is what he does with his power.
Awesome. Awesome, honey.
Excuse me.
Now, let us just give some snippets of what went on, right, as it relates to in Portland and the messages, right, that were sent, and where people need to pay attention to the messages. And I tell you, right, I think that Portland wrapped it up all for us in saying to the Jamaica Labour Party administration, enough is enough, and time come, right? And so then that is where we are as it relates to the energy that we are getting out of Portland, where Isaac Buchanan, right, and our comrade leader, Mark Golden, right? What is on the ballot? Let me say this to Jamaica Labour Party administration, if they don't get it. There's no amount of spinning that you can spin the political narrative or throwing out red meat to your base. The fact of the matter, right, what we are dealing with is good governance on the ballot. Checks and balance and transparency is on the ballot. What is also on the ballot, we are saying no to corruption. That is on the ballot. So regardless of your spinning, regardless of your political twining, regardless of your PR and how you articulate, right, that is not going to help you, right? Your articulation as it relates to Christopher Tufton, you understand, who seems to be one of the most articulate person, you understand, as it relates to selling the narrative of lies. None of these measures, right? None of the measures is going to help you. So let me show you, right, and get back into the energy, because the energy is saying time come, right? And we are tired tired of corruption. Let me remind you, Andrew Holness, what you need to have an understanding and what you need to explain to Jamaican people. Let me put it out there, what you need to explain to Jamaican people. You need to explain to Jamaican people how the entire Jamaica debt burden can be $2.3 trillion and yet $1.7 trillion unaccounted for. Until you can explain that, right, then you should move forward. And also, you have to give some clarity in SSL. Why we see, right, SSL, right, sending $143,000 to a bank account in NCB that you use $0 to take out. These are the atrocities and the mayhem that you have executed against the Jamaican people, tantamount what we call treason against the Jamaican people. Now, let us get into PNP business new direction, right? Let us get into that and the yeah. Yeah, let us get into that.
Mother of things. If Darrell Foster in a parliament, I sat back and I'm playing the top. It can't even call a proper sentence. It can't promote one in ruin to go determine who in the parliament with a big top liar who got to the council or free up people out of captivity. We are putting forward a representative that is this English and you tell them clearly of the interest of that and you require forward.
All right. Well, let me answer. I am telling you, Mr. Dayton Campbell, him of the whipping up, the wrath of correction. So let me strengthen what the man, our comrade Dayton Campbell has just said, right? Because if Darrell Vance, no make you have to roll out your testament, you know. You understand me, I said? And the way you refuse a push, it is going to force us to roll out your testimony, your testimonies of evil. So then if you, Darrell Vance, can be in parliament, Isaac Buchanan can be there. If Horace Strong, you may have to know tonight, if Horace Strong can be in parliament, Darrell Vance, of course, Isaac Buchanan can be there, right? And if Andrew Holness, if he can be in parliament, Isaac Buchanan can be there.
I mean, he's Prime Minister.
Yes, we are here tonight, and let me talk about the child molester, because I am very serious, right? I am very serious. When you have these big monsters, these big crocodiles, right, looking on their granddaughters, right, and still in parliament. The person knows who I am talking, right, where you have been accused. And if you can be in parliament, right, Isaac Buchanan can be in parliament. Let us deal with the facts. Back of the matter, when Isaac Buchanan did what he did, a foul against the law, he was 17 years of age. Let us get that out there clear.
Very impressionable.
Very impressionable. Youthful exuberance. But let us move to you people who are criticizing, you understand, Isaac Buchanan, who should have known much better. Because remember, they're not old dinosaur, you know. And you trick the Jamaican people, sit in parliament and say, no legislators, right? And yet, you being legislator, molesting 13-year-old girl, Hey, look here. We are going to call you people out, So, it's when time to go down there. You understand? We are going to go into the political trench and we are going to push you out. Right? Because guess what? It is not like you can come and say, okay, all right, you are suing Mystic Sensation. Right? You have to sue the information that is publicly out there that we are using. And so then I am 100% confident in what we are saying. That amongst you, as it relates to allegation, you have child molesters against you. So nobody can mix up Isaac Buchanan. Now, don't mix up the tribe of Judah. Don't mix up the political pearl. Don't mix him up. You understand? He's someone that, right, any youth, you understand, can emulate. Because guess what? He has been there, done that, right, and set himself above the fray, right, and now accomplish what he had accomplished. You can't put himself in the Isaac shoes. You know, hard and bright, right? You can't put himself in the Isaac Buchanan shoes. Nowhere, no time. And so then what we have a beacon of light, right? And this goes to show you that Jamaica Labour Party don't love ghetto youth. So when I run out and talk about every ghetto youth is a star, we all know that you are a hypocrite. You understand? So when them vote, when you try to trick the youth them and tell them say every ghetto youth is a star, want to do them, want to give them a friend, you understand, the best beach properties and run with the youth them, you understand, who and those areas for ages. We understand what you have done. You understand what we understand what you have done. We have seen many, right, under your administration, Andrew Holness, where you handcuff the youths them. Handcuff the youth, right, and killing them in handcuff. We have seen that. We have seen under your administration, we have taken youth from out of them house and carry them on a zig, ask them to kneel. You understand? And commit number 3. You can't run out and talk about Isaac Buchanan. You understand? We know you. What are you going to do? Right? We are going to set the trend. Social media is going to be utilized to have checks and balance where your corrupted administration is concerned. Now let us proceed. Let us proceed. We are getting there tonight. Now let us show you how corrupted these people are, centralized by violence. And so then, right, what they have been displaying, right, is to get into the law of our law. Look at this clip, people, as it relates to the political sabotage that intended. Without any delay, let us lift up ex-con from Pizida. All right. We are getting there, people. We are coming with fine style tonight.
Look at what Louis said. Sorry. Andrew Holness is like the lion that telling the sheep that when he gets elected, he's going to be a vegetarian.
Here you go. Look here. Louis Langshaw, bless up yourself. You understand? You said it all, my boss. You said it all. Yeah, man, we are juggling tonight. Burning fire, lava tonight. We are not praying. All right. As we proceed.
Half an hour. Can't move. Labor right to man say, them a work, we can't do nothing. Not see them nothing work. But them could have make a pass, but just I say.
Yeah, man.
Ah,
So the caption.
Say finish?
Mm.
Okay, all right.
Caption says.
Okay, so take it away, honey. Take it away. And so then, people, you have seen the caption that the boss worry. But let me ask the Jamaica Labour Party administration one question. Have you seen the People's National Party, right, in any circumstance where you are going to have a political campaign or a political get-together and where the People's National Party, right, is trying to sabotage you? Have you seen that? That's why we talk about the People's National Party being decent and act professional. Have you seen that? Now, Mrs. Voss, Mrs. Voss, you didn't know as it relates to the law of Jamaica, where construction, right, work on a weekend is not allowed. No, that's law.
I mean, Shelley carpet.
Right? That's law.
That's all.
But here you are because you're a tyrant, you're a political tyrant, and where Mystic Sensation would now describe you as a political miscreant. Yes. You chose, right, to go out there to sabotage. You cannot sabotage the power. Let me tell you something. We have seen Satan approach God and ask him that if he bow down to him, he will give God, right, the word. Well, the Lord said to him, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God, which is righteous. And so then, regardless of the evil that you and the Jamaica Labour Party administration is doubling down in, you couldn't stop the East Portland power because God is moving in such a way to defend the black Israelites. And Isaac Buchanan is the lion of the tribe of Judah. Now let us look and see how the energy galvanized around Isaac Buchanan. Without any delay, honey, let us go there. Isaac Buchanan, Mark Golding, East Portland. Love him, love him, love him. Right?
Started the reality.
Whenever you are telling the people who are undecided why it is PNP is going to form the next government and why it is Portland Eastern is going to be a part of that government, you're going to tell them that we have the win. What am I saying? We have the win. We have the win. That is it. My people, blessings.
Jamaican people, let me say this to you, and I want you to believe, as it relates to what Isaac Buchanan said, we have the win. Let me come in here. I am asking every single Jamaican citizen. Yes, we have seen the energy You have seen the vibes signaling time come. But I want to tell every single Jamaican man and woman that when the day comes, please go out and mark your X beside the X. It is empirically important that your participation in marking that is saying to both you and your family and your generation to come that I was a part of the process to change Jamaica from the corruption for Jamaica to be progressive. You want to have that fundamental history to know that you are a part of the change. Don't we ever, and let me say this, don't you ever sit at home and say, yeah, we have it in the bag. We have seen the energy in Portland. Let me say this categorically clear that we have it in the bag when everyone participates and we get, of course, the final hearing that the People's National Party is the incumbent government. I am warning you, I am begging you, and I am telling you, right? Don't take anything for granted.
Yep. Every vote counts.
Now, for those persons, let me talk to a different set of people. For those persons, right, who are collecting money and vote as accordingly, it's a disgrace to your nation. Now, let me say this, and I'm not going to hesitate it. Now, if you collect the money, if JLP, they run money for vote and try to corrupt the electoral system. Let me say this clear. Clear. And I want this to spread through every platform. What I say? Take the money. Name them out. Say the last piece on it.
I'll vote them out.
All right. Take the money. Name them out.
Vote them out.
At that we think the part. At this we think there. All right. Now, let me show you something, Jamaica. Because me know my Jamaican people not wasting any time to come over Mystic Sensation, right? They want the facts. And Mystic Sensation is here to do the research, right? And come with the facts. Now, let me tell you something, people, where I am going. Let me look on something. I want to show you how conniving Andrew Holness is. Now we are going to get back to the tri-bridge a bit, because the tri-bridge is a fundamental thing, you know, right? And we know that Andrew Holness, right, had claimed both him and Nigel Clark, we told them a lie, right, that they had, you know, budgeted for the tri-bridge. Let me tell you something. You see, when people desperate, them desperate, you know. And so then they try to sell it in Parliament, but they can't deliver. My Jamaican people, they can't deliver. I am going to show you the evidence, right? Because we don't play around here, so, you know. You understand? I'm not going to speak about something and don't have the evidence. where you can decipher the evidence yourself. So I'm going to show you how the Prime Minister is conniving, how Nigel Clark is conniving and lying to the Jamaican people. Right, where they have said that they had budgeted for the tri-bridge. But guess what? Today, they are saying something else. Now, people, watch this. Let us show the people the evidence in terms of how Andrew Holness said, right, that they had budgeted for the tri-bridge. Right? Let me tell you something. I am telling every Jamaican people that the tri-bridge, anyhow the tri-bridge is going to fix, is the People's National Party has to fix it. Take it from Mystic Sensation. Take it from Mystic Sensation. Take the evidence from me. Anyhow the tri-bridge is going to fix, it is the People's National Party who is going to fix that. And I'm going to show you the evidence that, guess what? They can't back from it. That's why we back them up. And the first time when Nigel Clark got up and promised, I said, Nigel Clark, I will be tracking you because I know that you cannot deliver. And now I caught him. Both him and Andrew Holness. So let me show you. Now, without any delay, honey, let us bring up Jamaica Observer. Bridge coming for Troy, Jamaica. That is all. Let me tell you something. You can't lie to the Jamaican people, you know. And we are here now. No, man. That can't happen again. We are here. We are here. So, let me just take some vitamin in my body here. Now, bridge coming for Troy. Mr. Horenzein, West Reporter. This is March 6, 2022, you know, people. Want to see the date? March 16, 2022. Hear it. Troy, Trelawney Minister with responsibility for works, Everett Warmington, has given an assurance that government will ensure that the Troy Bridge, which collapsed last August, causing great inconvenience for hundreds of residents and motorists, will be replaced. So them sound confident. People, 2022, this you know. He was, however, quick to declare that construction of the facility could stretch over 2 budget cycles, which if you check that, it would be 23 and 24. By then, that bridge now would have been completed and everything would be okay. But now, look, people, we have to find it funding, right in bracket. Looking at it, we won't be able to do it in one budget. Okay, fine. So we might have to do it over 2 years, right? Which is, when we check the 2 years from 2022 to 2023 and 2024, that bridge would have been completed. 2 budget cycles as such, we will start it and then complete it in the other year. Hear that clear. Jamaican people want to hear that clearly. Take that document away. I'm going to deal with him. I am going to deal with him. So we show that. We show you that this is a government as it relates to promises that never, ever deliver. Andrew Holness 100 days. All that he promised never deliver. So let us look what they are saying now. Remember what we just read as it relates to that document, stated by 2024, 2 budget cycle. Remember, we showed that date on that document as it relates to 2022. So 2 budget cycle as it relates to 2023, 2024 would have been completed. The bridge would have been up, right, and of course in operation. Now, let us look at this. I am just showing people. So when you hear Mystic Sensation tracking them people, yeah man, I am here defending my people and tracking them and showing them the evidence, you understand, of their falsehood. All right. So let us go to the Jamaican Gleaner. I am beating them tonight. Jamaica Gleaner, right? new 230 million Troy Bridge to be in place. Oh, what a piece of passa. Now, people, look. Now, after we're supposed to have the bridge now completed in 2024, this is what now the Jamaica Labour Party administration is saying now. New 230 million Troy Bridge to be in place in 7 months. Now, look at that, people. So 7 months away from now would be partially stepping into the general election. People want to hear this, you know. Want to listen to what the Prime Minister is saying here. Now, where the bridge should have been completed in 2024, now the Prime Minister wheel out another promise, wheel out another new promise, go and really take Jamaican people and plead here. Now, this is Monday, November 11, 2024, where now the bridge should have been in completion. This is what the Prime Minister is saying, people. Let me bring it up. Commuters are set to benefit from a new and modernized 230 million Troy Bridge in approximately 7 months, said Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Can you imagine? Holness made the announcement on Friday afternoon during a tour of the bridge in Trelawney. The former Troy Bridge, which connected section of South Trelawney and Northwest Manchester, was destroyed during Tropical Storm Sandy in 2021. Since then, residents have found skillfully ways to journey across the river in efforts to conduct business or attend schools in that area. You, Prime Minister, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should take that document away. You should be ashamed of yourself. So when we say that the Prime Minister, right, is politically, right, is a political scammer, right? And when we say that the Prime Minister is pathologically mendacious, based on the evidence that I showed, you will clearly understand. You understand where Mystic Sensation is going with that narrative. Now, let us get to more serious issue. Now, what I am going to bring forth is the high level of corruption. So we are going to get into some investigation. I think that Ratigan is trying to...
He's having some technical difficulties.
He's having some technical difficulties in trying to come in. I want it for me and Ratigan to break down, these few clips that I am going to display. However, you know that Mystic Sensation possesses the ability and the capability. You understand? If there's a situation that Ratigan still have difficulty, then we can swim right effectively. All right. Rati, I know you we are trying to make it possible for the linkage, so right. We are still anticipating you to come on.
Yeah, so he's called Kevin, so it's weird.
Okay, so Ratigan called Kevin to come in. But anyway, we are going to push on here. Now, for the next series of clips that is coming up, we are getting to some serious investigation. And let me explain it before I get into that. What we are going to show, as it relates to Nigel Clark, right? Now, as I previously explained, as it relates to SSL, let me explain this before I, present these clips, because I want people to understand where I'm going, right? So I have to create a background for you. So where we are going is to show you the relationship between Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark prior to Nigel Clark came into the politics, right? Because Nigel Clark came into the politics as it relates to 2018. So we have to remember that. Remember, I told you about SSL as it relates to the 4 main players in SSL. So we spoke about Audley Shaw, who was the Minister of Finance in 2016, right? As it relates to him not following up on certain things, right? And allowed it to happen. And we spoke about the Prime Minister as it relates to his profile account in SSL in 2008. And of course, we spoke about Nigel Clark, who had been into Positive Foundation Jamaica. We are going to show the evidence of that tonight. Positive Jamaica Foundation, and being a director of one of Andrew Owner's shell company prior to get into, right, the politics. So you will understand why Nigel Clark would want to protect and preserve the Prime Minister. Let me say that. And of course, right, we are not going to leave out the head cook and buckle washer, right? As you know, the proper phrase called where it comes to you cross-carry. You understand? Who had done a similar run with Paul Chen Young, right, during the financial meltdown, right, as it relates to in the 1990s, where court document evidence that suggested that, of course, you cross-carry had hidden away assets for Paul Chen Young. So this is where we are going, right? Now, without any delay, let us get into our pastor warning Andrew Holness, and then we get into the groove of things. I hope that Ratigan may come on by then. All right, let us bring up that. Pastor warn Andrew Holness on this day. All right. All right.
The Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church, is working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order, God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You're crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Lose the church, lose the church, lose the church, lose the church, lose the church. You're destroying the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, what can the nation do?
Okay. Okay, having said that, right, we are going to show that Nigel Clark is no saint, but what we would call a facilitator as it relates to wrongdoing. And we are not going to hesitate in saying that based on evidence that we are looking at. So let us get into Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark among those who were in the foundation. Let us bring up 18 degrees now document. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark among those, and we show the people where we are coming from, where that is concerned. We're talking about clarity and good governance, right? And we're talking about checks and balance. And so then, if you are representing the people, you are to represent the people truthfully. So this is an investigation that Zara Burton had done November 24, 2023. There is a date regarding to the conclusion of this investigation. Now it reads, over the next few days, 18 Degrees North will be taking a look at the former directors of Positive Jamaica Foundation. This is Andrew Holness Foundation. The Prime Minister Andrew Holness was its chairman until December 2021. And I want you to make note that the Prime Minister, right, took away himself from being a chairman from 2021 and also closed his account in SSL in 2021. Let me make that clear. When he ceased to be a director. Of note is also some of his co-directors from the time of Positive Jamaica's inception in 2011 ascended to prominent positions after or during their association with the foundation. So what Zara Burton is suggesting there, that it seems like Positive Jamaica Foundation seems to be a political incubator as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration, where several of them who were working with Positive Jamaica Foundation, you understand, have found themselves right in Parliament. I want you to make that clear, that we understand what Zara Burton is saying here. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is one of them. Here he is, right? A director in Positive Jamaica Foundation, shell company that Andrew Holness is the chairman. Let us move on. A former Goldman Sachs derivatives trader in London, business executive and director at various local conglomerates, including the Muslim Group and National Commercial Bank, Dr. Clark was among the first batch of directors of Positive Jamaica when the non-profit was registered on November 15, 2011. This is deep investigation that done, right, that unfold this information. Back then, Mr. Holness was serving his first term as Prime Minister. An article in the New York Daily News on November 18, 2011 reported that he spoke at a luncheon in Midtown Manhattan before business executives, diplomats, and VIPs, and that the event was presented by Positive Jamaica Foundation. I want you to listen, people. I want you to understand. So when Nigel Clark talking about FBI coming into SSL, it was just a facade. He's an instrument that protects Andrew Holness. Just a few weeks later, on December 4, Mr. Holness would go on to call a general election for December 29, 2011. However, this is Jamaica Labour Party lost to the People's National Party, ushering the return of Portia Simpson Miller as Prime Minister. While serving as a director of Positive Jamaica, Dr. Clark served as an opposition senator between 2013 and 2015. Opposition senators are usually appointed by the Governor General under the advice of the opposition leader, which would be Andrew Holness, preparing Nigel Clark way to venture into the politics, which would have been Mr. Holness at the time. I want you to understand the investigation. When Mr. Holness won back the premiership of the country in February 2016, Dr. Clark was named Ambassador Plenipotentiary for Economic Affairs in the office of the Prime Minister and appointed as chairman of the public boards, like the National Housing Trust, as well as the Port Authority of Jamaica, PAJ, two entities that fall under the ministries that Mr. Holness control. And let me remind you about something. It was very easy that both Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness would remove money from NHT and give to DEXIM. Millions of dollars from NHT money. We are showing you how Andrew Holness guided Nigel Clark into the politics. And I'm showing you the substantial evidence why Nigel Clark is protecting Andrew Holness. Dr. Clark sees being a director of Positive Jamaica Foundation on November 1st, 2016. According to Companies Office record, he was elected Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwestern in a by-election on March 5th, 2008. Take that document away. I'm going to show the people where I'm going. Take that document away. Let me show the people where I am going. So we see where the Prime Minister had put Nigel Clark. Nigel Clark, who had been a director in Positive Foundation, and Andrew Holness is the chairman. We see how Andrew Holness shielded him to venture him into the politics. So where we are going to show you the activities that Nigel Clark carry along the corruption, and we are going to see the funding that take place as it relates to also Nigel Clark now had done what Andrew Holness had done as it relates to Positive Jamaica Foundation. Nigel Clark had now taken out a foundation for himself. I want Jamaica to follow me keenly on where we are going. Clear trajectory of corruption. Without any delay, let us get to the other 18 degrees now. Speaking now about Nigel Clark Charity Foundation. All right. So where we stop it as it relates to the first document, we stop it as it relates to our Nigel Clark propelled in 2016. So we are going to continue, right, as it relates to this document, right, continuing with Nigel Clark 2016. Let us get into this. 18 degrees north investigation. Question. Did Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, use a tax-exempt charity for political purposes? And if so, can he? This is August 11, 2024. Sarah Burton is on their case. Now let us move and get into the heck of the matter. Last month, Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, won praise for the country's removal from the international grey list of the global watchdog Financial Action Task Force. For the past 4 years, he had been the ministerial point person on enhancing the country's counter-terrorism financing and anti-money laundering regime. So you can see the hypocrite who Nigel Clark is. While he is enhancing the country's counter-terrorism financing and anti-money laundering regime, we are going to read further, right, simultaneously what Nigel Clark has been doing while he claimed that he's enhancing the country's counter-terrorism financing and anti-money laundering. So now you understand Nigel Clark's pattern of behavior. When Nigel Clark said every stone, right? He's going to look under every stone and no stone will be left unturned. You will see that that sort of narrative, right, doesn't rest with Nigel Clark, right, just like that. It is coming from a deep history where Nigel Clark is concerned as it relates to his modus operandi of lying and connery. Now let us read over again. For the past 4 years, he had been the ministerial point person on enhancing the country's counter-terrorism financing and anti-money laundering regime, including getting Parliament to pass legislation to strengthen monitoring of the nation's non-profit sector. But an 18 degrees north probe has found that Dr. Nigel Clark's own tax-exempt charity deserves scrutiny. Now, people, you see where we are going? To show you this is the man who said that he will not leave any stone unturned, but yet his charity formed afoul of the law. His Growth and Opportunity Trust Limited, set up to serve his Northwest St. Andrew constituency by providing relief of poverty and to promote the advancement of good citizenship and community development, has raised more than $91 million, and in bracket conversion to US dollars, $631,644 in donations for unexplained sources between its inception in 2018 and 2023. It's also spent about $84 million in US conversion, $581 US dollars, $460 over that same time period, with little indication as to how that money was spent. Now let me explain this. So when Nigel Clark is claiming that, okay, his charity foundation is for the purpose of the relief of poverty and to promote the advancement of good citizenship and community development, all of that is a lie that Nigel Clark has told. Now let us go on. Of note is that the foundation's two most lucrative hauls occurred during election years, according to the foundation's financial file at the company's office beginning in January 2023. And let us look. Here is the bar graph. And what the bar graph is going to say, I'm going to show you people, right, where you need to understand the bar graph. So 2018 here, as you see where the cursor is. What you have seen as it relates to Nigel Clark introduction out of Positive Jamaica Foundation come into the politics, the amount and him created is Charity Foundation. This is what his Charity Foundation had done in the eve of election 2018. Right? This is where the money is supposed to benefit his constituency as it relates to the charity, what it's supposed to be used for. But what you have seen, right, the evidence here is suggesting that it was used for Nigel Clark, right, political campaign. Here you have 2018 and the blue mark is showing you that $27.8 million was put into Nigel Clark Foundation. Nigel Clark, anywhere you are, let me ask you. I am going to ask you a question, Nigel Clark, and I'm going to ask you a question, Andrew Honest. 2018, $27.8 million went into your charity, sir. Right? We show full indication that this has to be campaign funding. Let me ask the question that a lot of people scared. No one want to ask. But did any of SSL money used in this regard? I am asking that question, sir. I'm not saying. Andrew Holness, did any of SSL money used in this regard in 2018? Well, let me tell you something. Sit tight. There's a reason why Mystic Sensation is asking these questions, so sit tight. Now let us move, people. That 27.8 million in 2018, you understand, boosted Nigel Clark into the politics. Now 2019 is where the foundation dropped to 8.2 million, right? But look at 2020 general election again. Now I have to ask some more question here. The general election, here it is. 2020, a total of $35.3 million put into Nigel Clark Charity Foundation. Nigel Clark, Andrew Holness, I'm asking you this question. Did any money out of SSL put into your charity foundation? And why we cannot get the information as it relates to the persons or people or entity who source money into your charity foundation? And let me ask you a question, Nigel Clark. What is the status of this foundation today? Are you still being a director? Or someone else taking it over to run and effect election for next year? Let me say this. Mystic Sensation is watching it. Mystic Sensation is watching it. Now, let us read along. In 2018, the year Dr. Nigel Clark was first elected to Parliament in a special election, the foundation took in roughly $28 million. US dollars 192,196 in bracket, which sank to just above 8 million in 2019. Now in 2020, the year of the general election, donations shot up again, surpassing 35 million. And after the election, they plunged again in 2021 to 1.6 million. So these patterns of behavior, what it is suggesting that during the election eve, millions of money dumped into Nigel Clark Foundation. The foundation spending tracked a similar pattern, some 15.5 million in special election year 2018, then down to just under 10.3 million the following year. In general election year 2020, expenses skyrocketed, this time to about $30.5 million. They then plummeted again to around 5.8 million. What this is showing, a unique pattern of how money, millions, right, as it relates to the bulk of the money, right, that went into Nigel Clark Charity Foundation as it relates to the two election cycle, 2018, when Nigel Clark, right, run that by-election, and 2020, when Nigel Clark participated in that general election. I want you to understand this document. Now, identity of donors not known. Under the subheading, very important. And this is what the Jamaica Labour Party administration is doing, hiding and suppressing these information. So the identity of donors not known. Despite this heightened level of fundraising and spending around election period, there is no evidence that funds from Growth and Opportunity Trust were in fact used for political purposes. Engaging in politics is not on the first schedule outlining the list of charitable purposes allowed under the Charities Act. which instead includes initiatives like the relief of poverty, the advancement of education, religion, good citizenship, community development, among other causes. Still, anti-corruption activist Trevor Monroe, who's been advocating for more transparency around political campaign donations for decades, told 18 Degrees North that if funds from politician-linked foundations are being used for campaigning, the source of these donations should be known. Rightly so. And take it away. Take it away, Oni. Take it away. So we are showing, right, as it relates to Nigel Clark affiliation, right, with the Prime Minister, prior to venture into the politics, and the means and method that used to propel him, right, as it relates to 2018, via his charity foundation, that source of funds coming from, unknown sources, right, that allowed Nigel Clark to advance in the politics. Now we don't know where the source of funds came from as it relates to Zara Burton investigation. Now, let us deal with something very serious here. And one of the reasons why I want to go back to the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, and I wish that Rattigan was here. But anyway, I think Rattigan is trying. Rattigan get a vote.
Still can't get Kevin.
Still can't get Kevin? Okay. All right. Ratty, don't worry yourself. We understand, right? Now, let us look at something here. And we are going to go back to Andrew Walnut's statutory declaration, something that we all have been missed. We have missed. I have not seen, any vlogger cover it. Tonight, I'm going to point it out because me, myself, had missed it too. It is when I was going through some stuff and looking back, I said, whoa, how did I miss this? I'm going to share that with you tonight. Let us bring up this. Machiavelli, Jamaica, TikTok, fire. Let us bring up this. So we are getting there tonight, people. We are getting there tonight.
When me a boy, I grew up on the back. Them tell me, say, my father tell me when me a boy, I grew up. He said, 2 things you can't turn in a life. 2 things you can't turn in a life. He say you can't turn one of them, man, then. Who don't know what they are talking. And you can't turn thief. Because when me come from, every lion is a thief, and every thief is a lion. For me, what a new Prime Minister, because this is Prime Minister tonight. No. We're going to our election. And when the reach down here, so them say,
take that away on it. So we are getting there tonight. Now let us remind the Prime Minister that where we are going and the people of Jamaica, they are anticipating that come December 6th is a date that we all are anticipating. Knowing to the fact that you made a bonehead move in terms of your application as it relates to the judicial review. So that's where we are going tonight. That's where we are going tonight. And so then now you have exposed yourself that come December 6th, based on the determination of the judge, you are going to become a social media hot wave. Let me say that. Let me say that to you. Now, let us get into the ruling expected December 6th on the Prime Minister request. We are getting there, people. I just want you to have a little patience, right? All right. Ruling expected December 6th on Prime Minister request for judicial review for IC report. Friday, November 8, 2024. Let us read. The Prime Minister is seeking, among other things, to have the IC investigation report on its statutory declarations rejected as unlawful and unfair. This man is out of his mind. This man is out of his mind.
It's unlawful.
No. He wants the IC to rule, to reject whatever, based on these two items, that the Integrity Commission is unlawful and unfair, where he, on 3 occasions, applauded the Integrity Commission. Let me remind you, Prime Minister.
Give him enough time to bring in what they
A judicial review allows the court to scrutinize processes used by a public authority to make decisions. Justice Althea Jarrett heard submissions from both parties on Thursday, and following their completion on Friday, reserved her decision until December 6th. Let us take that away. Now, Mr. String, at all for the press anyway, they big up yourself. Right? People remember, if you support at all for the press. Because at all for the press, I take a little clip from you to highlight. Because me know say you are the blazing fire mama, rampant social media, That's why we love you, sir. Let us take a piece of bite as it relates to at all for the press here. Right? And people remember, support at all for the press. All right, Jamaica TikTok. Reading, let us get into that.
Well, see me there, Pademia. See them here. My huggies. I walk with my huggies this morning. Yes? Because from last night, me affair use them. Yes. From last night. We never see this one coming. Me sick. Sick like dog. Hold on. You might need to go. Oh dear. I hope I have enough to last me until about 1 o'clock today. Well, see me there, Pademia. See them here.
Take it away, he made his point.
My huggies.
Take that away. Take that away. He made his point. And sir, we fully understand. Because with the amount of pressure that Mystic Sensation is sending down, the amount of pressure Wayne Lonesome sending down, the amount of pressure Titans sending down, we understand that the shit bong is vulnerable. We do understand that the shit bong is definitely vulnerable, because trust me, what I'm going to reveal tonight, we are going to ask some questions. And without any further delay, people, I am going to get to something that we have missed. And we are going to make sure that FID look at this. Right? And that is one of the reasons why I just really miss Ratigan as it relates to this situation. But I know that Ratigan will pick up. I am going to reveal and to own a statutory declaration for 2021 as it relates to where the Integrity Commission investigators, right, had investigated. But what have we missed, people? I am going to show you what we had missed. Now, without any delay, I want to bring up Andrew on a statutory declaration, some review 2021. And that is going to be the last clip.
I have 2021 here, so 2020.
2020. All right. Okay, people, here it is. Summary of statutory declaration. Name of declarant, Most Honorable Andrew Michael Onus. We talk about the three categories, right, as it relates to, right, the filing process, income, assets, and liabilities. Now, when we look on the income, we see the salary, right, which is $10,487,000. Right, reality income $2,953,560. Security income nil. Other income $6 million. But I want for us to pay attention to Andrew Onus' total assets, and this is 2020. I want people to pay attention to this because we have been missing something. And so, Ratigan, if you are hearing me, I want you to look at this, Ratty. Total assets, Ratty, here. $172 million. $402, sorry, and 1 cent. Right? Total liabilities, $15,988.38. I want people to get this, Total income, right? Total assets. Look at the total assets, Jamaican people. Look at the total assets. Total assets, $172,506,402.01. Take it away, honey. Let me talk to the people. Let me talk to the people. What it seems like we have been missing. So then if the Jamaica Labour Party administration looking in, yes, let me show FID what we are missing. So if Andrew Onus, statutory declaration, total assets is $170 million. What I want to ask you, Andrew Onus, the Integrity Commission, right, investigated your statutory declaration for 2021, right? And where we have seen, right, similar figure. Now, Jamaican people, let me ask Andrew Onus this. So then, if you had reported based on your statutory declaration that we had looked on, and the total assets is $170 million. Now, Andrew, let's back up. Come here. In 2020, between the period 2020, and I know that people are going to dig this, between the period 2020 to 2023, $470 million were running through 4 accounts. Ratigan, no, I catch this now. I wanted to catch it. So then, Andrew Nunes, did you reveal all of that to the IT? No, you didn't. You have not revealed that in your 2020 statutory declaration, sir. We have not seen that in your 2020 statutory declaration, and where this Integrity Commission investigator investigate your 2021 statutory declaration. No, you have been running as it relates to $470 million from 2020 to 2023. So I am asking you, right, to explain to the Jamaican people, why didn't you reveal that as it relates to your 2020 statutory declaration and your 2021 statutory declaration, sir? We have seen the evidence as it relates to the Integrity Commission investigation report, where $470 million running through roughly about 4 entities, 4 accounts. We have to get back there. So something very fundamentally wrong. That here, from the period 2020 to 2023, right, where you have $470 million running through 4 accounts. However, your 2020 statutory declaration is saying to us that your total asset is $170 million. What can go so? So then, you need to come out and explain that. And now we understand, of course, why you don't want FID to investigate. Because that is a contrast that needs to be explained, that your 2020 statutory declaration have you as a total assets of $170 million, and while between the period 2020 to 2023, $470 million running through 4 of your accounts. Talk to Mystic Sensation. Speak. So all of those parliamentarians, right, and the Minister of Justice who want to back and defend you, they need now, you understand, to answer that. I want them to answer how your statutory, and I mean you make it up, you know. I am showing you what Gazette did as it relates to your 2020 statutory declaration, that is saying that your total assets, income, and liabilities amounted to $170 million. And yet, during the period of the same 2020 to 2023, you have $470 million running through 4 different accounts. And then, what makes it worse, your 2021 statutory declaration that the Integrity Commission is looking on, you did not state it on your statutory declaration. I see Integrity Commission investigators. Do you realize that he did not state it? He did not state that. So then we have to get back to the drawing board, sir. And you have questions to answer. So this is what we are saying as it relates to the level of corruption, right? Where we cover also Nigel Clark running foundation and where millions of dollars dumped into Nigel Clark Foundation, and we can't understand the source of who dumping money into Nigel Clark Foundation. We are not talking about easy cash. We are talking about $30 million. Where did that money come from? Did that money come from SSL? I'm just answering the question. So far, I don't have any evidence, let me say, to say that that money come from SSL and dump into Nigel Clark Foundation. But I'm just asking, why Nigel Clark, right, and the DPP decided to sit on the report? And when Kroll finished the investigation and recommended charges, who are the persons who recommended to be charged? Seriously, where? You understand, the dark clouds need to be cleared, right? And so then this is what we are saying. But guess what? Jamaican people, we all are going to anticipate December 6th to see what's going down, right? And I know that, of course, you will have some Jamaica Labour Party administration who is looking in tonight. You understand? Those questions that I mounted, right, needs to be answered, right? As it relates to, you know, I mean, we are not getting clarity. What is happening as it relates to the statutory declaration of Andrew Holness 2020, showing $172 million, while in 2020 to 2023, $470 million running through, right, 4 accounts, right? Yet, we have to ask this question. It is for Andrew Holness to definitely clarify. Now, I want to say, I think that comes to the end of our program tonight, right? Quite informative. And of course, definitely, right, we are giving persons time to call in, speak to Mystic Sensation, right? Your brother, your friend, your uncle, and of course, yeah, we are here teaching, right? So I am just waiting on, you know, persons to call in. Call, man, and talk to me. Let us talk, right? Let us discuss our political affairs. You understand the issues that are affecting us on a day-to-day basis. So I am waiting for, you know, persons to call me, right? Let us talk, right? And if so, right, that will be, right, the end of the program for tonight.
Okay, guys, so the number is pinned, so anyone who wants to call in can call in and continue.
Bless up yourself, Jean Jarrett. Bless up yourself. All right. All right. Thank you, Leroy, for enjoying the program, you know. Well, this is what we do. We do the deep dive, we do the research, and bring the facts to you. It is for them, right, to counter the facts, if they can counter the facts, right? But we are putting it out there. All right. So, right, no one calling, not hearing from Pat, not hearing from Uriel. What's going on? Right?
But it's a 2-hour difference in a search.
Okay. All right.
It's a work week, so.
All right. So, you know, people, let me say, as it relates to we getting ready to close, I want to once again remind, okay, call is coming in. I like that. Right. Set up my little thing to talk and, you know, relax. I like when persons call.
Hello. Good night.
Yes, good night, my friend. How are you doing? Thank you for making it Mystic Sensation.
Mystic.
Yes.
Mystic, how are you?
I am fine, sir. I hope you are fine as well.
How are you and the good lady?
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, man. This is George.
Yeah.
Hi, George.
Right. This is George. All right. 3 things I'm concerned about, right?
Yes.
In terms of Andrew Owners seeking the judicial review.
Yes.
Okay, and I think Rastafari raised it on his program also. Was
Yes.
one, the people who we serve. You notice that he did not serve the Attorney General.
Yeah.
And that is one of the first persons that should be served. So that is my concern. That is one of my concerns. That maybe he did not file to the right persons. My second concern is that the second concern is that the request to have the law strike down, the court may see it as being unjust.
Yes. Do agree with
And
you.
the third one is that he is not coming to the court with clean hands. So in other words, and the court is saying that, you know, the mantra of the court is that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So he's not coming to the process with clean hands. It's not for the law to be stricken down, which is unreasonable, because this law is to protect the government coffers. And he wanted to be striped down his personal feelings and would be his personal view.
Yes.
Right? And the court would find that an unreasonable request.
And then
those grounds that the court so out.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I think you're right in terms of what you said. Right? I think you're correct there. Right? Because based on certain grounds in law where that could have happened, right? When we look on the grounds as it relates to, you know, that judicial review, right, going against an entity, right, that carry out certain tasks, then there is no grounds, because we have looked through all the grounds and there is none that Andrew Owners have, no solid basis in terms of striking it down.
Right.
So as such, I think the court, let us say this, right, that we do believe that the court is going to kick it out. Hello?
Yes. What you said, I didn't hear that mistake.
Yes, we believe that the court is going to just dismiss that.
Right. That is my belief also.
Yeah.
That is my belief also.
Exactly.
You know, because his request, I see, is just unreasonable. The request that he wants to strike out,
Yes.
If he had said, look over it and make some adjustment, but he wanted to be straightened out altogether.
Yes.
And that law was put in place to protect the government coffers.
Exactly. And we have to remember that if we... Yeah, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
No, man, go ahead and finish.
Yeah. You have to remember the ripple effect that will have. That will carry what we call a domino effect, right? And, you know, other cases, if you have the Corruption Act, right, just, you know, chopped like that. So they have to take all of that in consideration.
This the whole Corruption Act.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. You couldn't. I mean, then. I mean, the The only means as it relates to the rails of justice, as it relates to illicit enrichment where, you know, government members can be charged, right? You are going to now strike down that, right? So what are you saying? That government members need to, you know, act, you understand, at will as it relates to, you know, do anything that they want to do with our treasury and no questions to be asked? You cannot be saying
Right.
that. You cannot be saying that.
Right. So it is an unreasonable request. The court will find him request unreasonable.
Yes.
That is what. And then throw it out. And he's not coming through the process with equity because he's hiding things.
You're perfectly right, sir.
So therefore, he's not coming with clean hands.
Exactly.
He's not coming with clean hands. And the courts want to ensure that he's coming to the process with clean hands, which he's not.
Yes.
And therefore, I believe he's going to be thrown out.
And one thing I can also tell.
Your wife,
yes.
You guys, it's not every time I comment, but
all right.
Bless
you.
Bless
you. Bless you.
All right, Mystic.
All right, blessings.
Mystic. Bless.
All right.
Let me call back.
Okay.
Let me call back.
Well, the program is short tonight, you know, we still have time.
Ratigan was trying to let
Ratigan is trying to come on. So if Ratigan, right, is able to come on, we will extend the program to the next 20 minutes in terms of Ratigan, you know, just deciphering some issues for us, particularly where the statutory declaration is concerned and what I am asking as it relates to the $470 million. So we'd like Ratigan to come on, you know, rectify that.
Hello, good night. You're on the Stick Sensation Live.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Yes, Mystic. Yeah, man. You guys keeping everybody eyes open, you know, giving us a lot of education.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Just keep on burning the fire, man.
All right.
You know, we need to make it better.
Of course.
Because most of us looking forward, you know, that we can go back there and enjoy some of the life here, you know.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful country.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
Same to you. Blessings.
All
right. But you know, this is the type of call that encourage us only to go on, right, in terms of people endorsing what we are doing. And it's a blessing, right, when we have call like that, right, encouraging us. All right. So, all right, we like that because it, you know, it gives us the energy, right, to go on, right, because we are fighting for our brothers and sisters, right. Yes, caller, you're on the call, Mystic Sensation. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good night, Mystic. Good night to you and your
wonderful twin.
Such a wonderful program.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so my main concern going forward is that the director of elections
yes
sits in the Prime Minister's office. He was recently seen in the campaigning with one of the last by-elections.
Yes.
How are we going to be assured that this gentleman will see to it that the elections are run fair and honest, and results are honest, without siding with the Prime Minister's, or should I say the Labour Party? How are we as people, Jamaicans, going to be sure that this gentleman's action is not one-sided?
All right. Very good question. I love the question that you asked because many persons are concerned, having the same concern in terms of what you have. But let me explain something. Yeah. Right. On the People's National Party side, they have some powerful lawyers, And they have already anticipated all the negatives, the potential negatives that can happen. I have spoken to some people, right? And I'm not going to, speak in terms of name, but I've been guaranteed as it relates to certain processes that will be done. So I think I have confidence as it relates to certain procedures and so forth. Because let me just give you a reminder, right? For all the, the negative thoughts as it relates to even local government election, they could not get the time because they were closely monitored. And we are going to have, higher scrutiny where that is concerned for the general election. And so then I think I have confidence that, of course, you understand, we are going to be able to, persons are going to be able to be, to vote, and their votes are going to be counted. That's my take on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it sounds good, and I hope that he's been closely monitored to make sure that he does his job and do it according to the law.
Yes. Yes.
Because I can understand why the director of election would be seen in a political campaign with insight for that matter.
That is concerning. That can't look good. That can't look good. That is concerning, of course. And you're right. That is concerning.
Yes. And the footage or the pictures that I saw, he was right there, could almost be kissing the prime minister. That's how close they were. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't look good.
No, that can't look good.
And I hope that both himself and the prime minister look at those pictures and realize that people are watching them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People are watching them. Another concern that I have is coming out of the last local government election. I remember when I was at the polling station in the line waiting to vote, a young man was voting for the first time. He didn't know the process of voting. But one of the good things that he did, he came and he asked, how should it be done? Well,
yes.
Persons in the line was able to show him and tell him how he should vote. And he didn't have a updated voter ID. So he had to go in, when he went in, he had to go through the process of swearing and all of that. The amount of people that I see traveling around and going around, especially with the PNP, I am wondering if there is anybody within the organization that is there to make sure that all of these people that turns up at these political rallies have the documentation, are they registered, whatever it is, so that they can vote when the time comes, instead of just showing up at the rallies, making up the numbers and making the thing look good and not being able to vote when it matters. Is there anybody in the organization, in the PNP organization, that is there when you go to the rally to say to these young, especially the young people, are you registered? Do you have your voter ID? We need to make sure that we get, when it is said that when you go to fish, you can't get the fish in the boat and then make the fish jump back out.
Yes.
You have to make sure that the fish stays in the boat. So there should be somebody, I don't know, to make sure that you check on these people, especially the younger ones, to make sure that they have what it will take for them to go and vote.
Exactly. You know, and I'm glad that you touch on that point, right? And for, you know, Mystic Sensation, I think what we are going to do also, right, is to get the information as it relates to the entire process. On our channel, we are going to post it so that people understand the process, right? And, you know, have them educated as it relates to that, because you have touched something solid, right? So we need to, and you know, it is good for other platforms, right, to highlight the process as well. So, you know, that's a well applauding point there, you know, that we, you know, will have to encourage as well.
Yes, sir. So let us hope that, you know, going forward, we can do all of these things and so that we don't fall short
Exactly.
in areas.
All
because
right.
We have to make sure that there is a change in terms of government in Jamaica, because things cannot continue to operate and go
All right.
as it is going now.
Exactly. Well.
Okay, so well, you have a good night and
same to you, sir.
Continue to do the good work.
All right, thank you. All right.
Okay.
Hello, you're on Mystic Sensation Live.
Hold on. One, Mr. Rattigan is, no, one step, Mr. Rattigan.
Yeah. You're on Mystic Sensation Live. Can you go ahead, sir?
Yes, sir. Good night to you and your panelists.
Thank you, thank you. Good night to you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, because we know at the time come.
Yes.
I just want to implore all the young people that reach the age, the old people, the medium age people.
Yes.
And the undecided voter to just go out on that day.
Exactly.
And mark the X beside the head early.
Thank you for that.
Yes, sir, because time come, I would know it comes.
Time come.
I will support it, man.
All right.
Yes, boss. Have a great night.
Same to you, sir. Bless up yourself and your family.
All right, boss.
All right. Let us start from now on. Yeah.
Okay,
all right,
guys. Those who are calling and didn't get through, I'll call you back in a few minutes. Let me just get Mr. Rattigan.
Okay. All right. Bring up Brother Rattigan. All right.
Testing. You can't hear me?
Oh, you're coming in live and forceful, powerful.
Disappointed, man, because it's like over an hour I'm sitting down here, you know. And
yes.
I don't know what's going on with this thing here. And I called for Kevin, but Kevin have a program started 45 minutes ago.
Yes.
And so Kevin, I spoke to Kevin like about 1:45. So Kevin couldn't really help. So I have to call on my brethren who drive. How far you live from here?
I'm Baltimore.
25 minutes?
Yeah.
So I have to call him and him get out in bed and drive come over here and then struggle with it and then him finally get it working. But
yes,
just frustrated.
We appreciate
I can relate to that. We've had our days with Mr. Rattigan. I can relate to the technology.
All right.
All right. So Brother Ratty, since you're here,
yes,
let me just give you the opportunity to greet your people. As I said, your people. All
yes.
Right? And then we get into it.
Okay. All right. Let me just say good night to everyone. You can tell me just kind of disappointed, but at least I'm happy. I'm happy that the system reset it. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and the day after and the day after. So we shall see. But it's a pleasure to always be here. And it's a joy to participate in the discussion. So
Yes.
there we are.
All right. So, Brother Rattigan, one of the items that we had looked on, right, is Prime Minister statutory declaration as it relates to 2020. And some questions that I, totally invoke from that. So what I'm going to do, Brother Ratti, I'm going to bring up the statutory declaration for 2020, right? And then we are going to make some reflection on other things. Can you bring up the statutory declaration 2020 as it relates to the Prime Minister?
Oh, mind my manners, Anne-Marie. Yeah, my mind all over the place right now.
Oh, it go in there.
All right. So let us bring up that.
It's a cheerful. Some people in the chat I know, man. Yeah, quite a few people.
Yes.
Yeah, Carl Allen, Daniel Taylor, Barbara Finley, Marie Lizzie. Okay, yeah. All right.
All right. So yes.
Cheerful Wallace. Mm-hmm.
All right. We are increasing the font so you can see clear, Ratti.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ratti, we are looking on the Prime Minister statutory declaration for 2020, right? Here, that would have reflecting 2019 statutory declaration, right? Now, and we see the salary that the Prime Minister was getting as it relates to his salary. But again, if we are to check as it relates to 2019 and 2020, right? This salary that the Prime Minister have here seems to be padded, because the Prime Minister was getting 10 million for salary. I don't think so. I think it should be less. But anyway, huh?
Yeah, it's less.
Yeah, it's less. So here we see where the Prime Minister's salary being padded. $10,487,565.94. Right? So let us go to total asset, because that is what we're interested in. Right, the Prime Minister total assets here as it relates to Jamaican dollars, indicating $172,506,402.01. Is that correct?
Yeah.
His liabilities is $15,986,988, right, and 38 cents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. Take it away, because I want to ask Ratti a question. So we see where the Prime Minister, right, declared that as it relates to his 2020 statutory declaration. But based on the investigation that the Integrity Commission investigators had done, and where they look on the Prime Minister 2021 statutory declaration and failed to certify that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we have seen as it relates to the investigation timeline between where you have $470 million running through, right, 4 of the Prime Minister bank account between the period 2020 to 2023, right?
Three companies.
3 companies.
Yeah.
474
million.
474 million.
Yeah.
Ratti. So what he show in as it relates to the statutory declaration, shouldn't it be more? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Because if the timeline of the investigation, right, showing that the 3 entities we're $470 million. And the timeline, if we can get back to it, it is speaking of 2020 to 2023. Then why the Prime Minister only showing, Rocky, 172 million 2020? That cannot be right.
No, it's not right.
Can't.
No, it's not right. I'm trying to pull up you have the report.
Can we find that? One? Hold on.
Because if you have the report, I have it.
Where did I see that report? Hold on. My phone.
Oh, here.
Let's try to see if we can get that report. Hold on. Yeah, we're searching for that, right?
Yeah. I'm looking to see. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can. I know I have it here, but it's just.
Yeah, because that also caught up in some files that I have too. You know what?
Here.
You found it?
Oh, hold on. But later. Let me see. I have all of it.
Okay, so
yeah.
You forget it again?
Yeah.
Okay, so why if you have it?
Share it. Which page you want?
You remember the page, Ratty?
That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for the.
I think
Kevin Devon.
It.
Hold on, I'll soon to the other page.
I'm checking my thing here. See if I see that. Be some patience with us people because we want to get into the right thing.
And for the last two persons who were calling, I'll call you back in a few minutes. Once you're finished there, I'll call you back.
This must be it. Nope.
Rocky, check 5.8.15.
All right. Let's see if I can find it. 5.8.15. Hold on.
5.8.15. That's the only assets, liabilities, and income.
Which one? That's his the last report on him?
Yeah, the Integrity Commission investigation. Under the subheading assets, liabilities, and income.
Is that 5.1?
5.8.15.
One second. Just what page number now?
I'm trying to see if that is it. That is 2021. From changes in network.
I know that it's
Oh, one second. I'm almost there. Oh. Okay. That one.
That and it's difficult to find it. Well,
No, I'm almost there. Well, I think I know where it is.
This is
It's come on.
mhm.
I tell you something I said.
hold on.
You talk the one where the
We have 470 million.
it is. Go to page 123.
Oh my gosh.
Page 123.
Yeah.
You want to share your screen or?
Oh yeah, sure. I can share it. Yeah, here we go.
It's highlighted.
All right, yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, Ratigan, because the amount of information that we have here. So, all right, okay, thank you for that.
There it is.
Okay, so let us share the screen. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
See there.
All
So
right.
Like you're right. It's from 2020 to 2023.
So the evidence is there, Rati, right? Where the investigation is from June 20, right, to 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So the Prime Minister is in a total conundrum. And there it is, as it relates to the millions of dollars, right, running through these three entities. Estate holding,
Imperium, Positive Media. See
$423 million.
Yeah, so them deposit 473 and withdraw 427.
Yes.
It does keep move. The money does keep move between the three entities.
Exactly. So Ratty, how does this strike? Because I'm wondering if the director of corruption, the director of investigation, did he take a reflection back on the 2020 statutory declaration and realize that, okay, you know, what he had reported is definitely wrong as it relates to the 2020?
No, it not add up. It not add up because you're right. If them go back to 2020 and 2021, then this should be a part of it, right?
Exactly.
And then what our people need to know is that Imperium was owned exclusively by the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
Nobody else.
Exactly.
1,000 shares, he owned 600, 400 unassigned. So him alone run Imperium. Positive Media, he owned Positive Media with one of the Azans. I think it's Richard Azan.
Yes.
And it's 100 shares and him own 99. And one share owned by Mr. Azan. Yeah, later on him turn over him shares to his son. And then this other one, Estate Bridge Holdings, I think he's the principal in this, and I'm involved in this with him, with a guy named Norman Brown, who is the guy who works out of his office that is in charge of UDC and another agency right, involved in development. So you can say he's part and parcel of all three. He's involved in all three. And this is the kind of money we run through it. So We know him own this one outright, right? And this one Imperium. We know that at one point Positive Media him own 99 out of 100 shares. And we know that I think he's a major shareholder in Estate Bridge Holdings.
Yes.
So you're right. All of this money here, we don't see it in 2020. We don't see it in 21. We don't see it.
So this is serious. Because isn't that ADMAT was dissolved into Imperium?
Correct.
So then the Prime Minister have a problem here. Right. The Prime Minister have a big problem here.
Yes. 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 He has a big problem. And you know what? I was reading the file concerning the former speaker, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, right?
Yes.
And what they did, with the car, and what they did, they went back several years to show that she didn't file when I think it was 2015. Remember now, this thing come out 2023. And in 2015, when they started talking about the Mercedes, they went back to the time she purchased it in 2015. And they had like 7 filing periods where they said she didn't file. So they went back. So I don't know why the Prime Minister complaining that they're going back into his financial history, because there's precedence of them doing it. So I don't know. But that's a drowning people clutch at straw. So
but in order to understand the present, you have to look into the past.
Exactly.
True. But he's complaining, saying that, but and then I said, well, wait a minute, hold on 1 second. Because remember, we showed not last week, the week before, we showed that the Integrity Commission said that, look, we never really do any investigation into anything the Prime Minister told us. We just took his word at face value. Right? So now that they can't take his word as face value, or they shouldn't, they went and they looked at everything that he did. And they're coming up with all kinds of issues they're coming up with. And he's in a bad position. He really is in a bad position. And then on top of that, he's getting bad advice. He's getting really bad advice. Really bad advice. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do with him. But we have to beat this in our people, because, sometimes we have a tendency, our people have a tendency to hear it one time and it resonates that one time, and then they move on and then forget about it. But we cannot let them forget about this. We cannot let them forget about this. Because if, big if, and I'm not accusing the Prime Minister, I'm just saying if it's proved later on that these monies come from questionable sources, not from legitimate business ventures, but in the source of the original funding. If that came from questionable sources or phantom sources, we don't know, then there might be a possibility that this is actually the people's money. Might be a people's money. And if that is the case, we want the money back. We want it back. We have roads to build, we have schools to take care of, we have housing issues, we have medical issues, we have agricultural issues, we have all kinds of issues.
And the main one, we have these big loans to pay back.
There you go.
So we just want to be clear so that we're not accusing the Prime Minister anything. We're just saying what if they go back and them can't, and what if FID go back now and they say, well, you know what, we can't see where this money came from a legitimate source. We cannot see it. It's coming from a phantom source, a source that we can't really identify. And then later on it turned out that this money come from the funds earmarked for projects in at risk dilapidated areas. Then that's going to be a problem. But we're hoping that's not the case. But time will tell.
But Ratty, let me ask the question. Right, based on what we are looking at here right now, and you have $473 million that actually running through 3 of the Prime Minister's entities, which is Imperium, Positive Media, right?
And this one, and the other one, Estate Bridge Holding.
Estate Holding. Right, okay. My question, based on what we have seen here, isn't that the Prime Minister now would have lied on his statutory declaration?
Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, for not, yeah, it would be, yeah, if these monies right here that we're looking at should have been reflected in the statutory declaration. And if they were not reflected in the statutory declaration, then that's called filing a false statutory declaration. And, you know, I don't understand these people. You have so much money, you have so many things going on, and then you say, boy, like, look at the former speaker. She bought the car in 2015, and then she's supposed to tell the on her statutory declaration that the period ended December 2015.
Yes.
And she had until March to tell them. She said she never said anything, and she said she never owned no car, she never drive no car. Then she forgets that she own a car. When you forget you have a Mercedes, you buy a Mercedes, a new Mercedes. How you forget that?
Morati, knowing as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration and all its political leaders, remember, you know, that it is not a strange behavior. Edward Siaga said he forgot that he borrowed $30 million.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
So that's an Edward Siaga point too that Wimple is giving, right? And you know, it is just really sad where that is concerned.
Carl Allen is asking who bought the car. Carl, in 2015, the speaker bought that car. They showed her the invoice. They showed her the 20% tax break that she got, and they showed her, I think she was collecting monthly maintenance for the vehicle. She purchased the car.
Yes,
she purchased the car. So, but you know, every time you open up this report, you find something new to talk about, you know, that you didn't say before. Every single time you open it and look, there's just something. Because first of all, they can't believe it, that just the idea of your prime minister in a poor country, Jamaica, a prime minister in a poor country having 28 bank accounts, just the optics alone. Yeah, the optics alone is not good.
Can't be good.
Mm-mm.
Can't be good.
You alone not do it 28 bank book.
Exactly. And here we are as it relates to the $470 million, and several of us, Ratty, we overlooked this, right? Because we have said we were just focusing on the Integrity Commission investigator. But when sometimes we take ourselves from out of the investigation and look back, then, you know, other things come forward. Because I was saying, then, I mean, if this investigation, as it relates to the $473 million timeline, is 2020 to 2023, and the Prime Minister's statutory declaration for 2020 did not reveal any of this, right?
Yeah. Then
the Prime Minister lied to the Integrity Commission investigators.
Yeah, because I think you showed that it was how much money was it in 2020?
170 million.
So where this come from?
Exactly. This is a problem. This is a problem, Ratty, for the Prime Minister. This is definitely a problem for the Prime Minister. Right? Because the Prime Minister's statutory declaration for 2020 showing 170 million.
Let me ask you a question. And we can just throw this out to the universe that's watching the program. 2020 was verified, right? It's statutory declaration.
Yes.
All right. Now that we know that the numbers them don't match up, right? Now that we know, we see where we have something here and we have something there. Although them say this is for a 3-year period, but let's say the numbers don't match up. Do you think that the Integrity Commission should go back and say, well, we're gonna decertify the 2020 statutory declaration and all the others where we believe that you weren't honest enough and you didn't give us true and accurate numbers? You think that they should go back and decertify all of them, or they should just let bygones be bygones? They were certified and just let them go.
All right, Ratty, you and I know that, right? It can't be like that, because when in terms of us investigating anything, right, history is important. The foundation of the crime is important, right? And where you have the director of investigation investigating the 2021 statutory declaration, and they obviously came upon this problem in terms of unable to certify the 2021 statutory declaration. That within itself now would carry out what we call a domino effect, Ratty. A domino effect in the sense that, all right, we are now looking on this $473 million, right? Remember that the director of based on the Integrity Commission explanation of the reason why previous statutory declarations were certified by them, I think they said they took it at face value. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, that's what they said. And in fact, let me find that. But you're right. That's what they said. They said, keep talking, but they did say everything that he told them. They basically did not investigate. They just went by whatever he told them.
So and this is where it now becomes very troubling for the Prime Minister, Ratty, because now that FID is going to come in the picture, right? FID is going to take up, right, where the Integrity Commission investigators left off as relates to the 2021 statutory declaration in terms of the source of funds. Because the problem with that is the source of funds, right? The Prime Minister, right, is unable to explain the source of funds to the investigators. So FID, right, has to take it from there and peel back the onion as it relates to going way back to ADMAT 2008. Because remember that ADMAT, right, when ADMAT started in 2008, right, we have seen where ADMAT had bought roughly about 4 properties, right? So then the question has to be, where did ADMAT, right, get the original source of funds to purchase those properties?
Well, it is 5.8.32, where they say it is important to know that the source of funds used to acquire assets held by ADMAT was not verified by way of an investigation by the Commission. So they must never do an investigation, and so them just don't know where the money they come from. And I guess never. And then look, here's the next part you were asking about, where it says right there. It says it starts actually right here. Buyer was not verified. It said certification and publication of Mr. Holness's assets, income, and liabilities up to 2020 were done mainly on the face of what was presented in his statutory declarations, as well as other supplemental submissions. So what they're saying is that we didn't really dig deep into this. It just whatever he presented to us, we just accepted it.
Okay. So this is now where the Prime Minister in a serious problem, right? If FID is to dig into this. The Prime Minister is in serious problem.
That's why I'm trying to burn down the border.
And that's why the Prime Minister is trying to burn down the entire bridge with the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister is in a problem. And here it is, where Mr. Panton, right, came out to say that everything that had been presented, right, everything is facts.
Yes.
That's what he
Yes.
said.
He said
But
that.
the Prime Minister is not a problem, right? Based on what you're
But I tell you why I'm a little bit worried.
Yes.
I'm a little bit worried because FID can only investigate, right? FID cannot arrest, FID cannot prosecute. You know who's doing the prosecution? If there's going to be a prosecution, it's going to be the DPP. I know who's going to do the arresting. It's going to be the JCF, right? Can you imagine what that's going to look like or not going to look like for the JCF to go and put cuffs on the Prime Minister and for his DPP to prosecute him? And by the way, before we even get that far, remember that Minister Favor Williams, she has oversight over FID. She can tell FID what to do. She can stop the investigation. So you have several layers of impediments. One is that the Minister of Finance and Public Service can exercise oversight and basically direct that investigation, or better yet, wreck that investigation. And if she no wreck it, the police, they have a role to play in terms of the arrest.
But
and
let
then,
me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question. What I want to ask is that oversight, right, has the responsibility or the ability or the capacity to stop an investigation. Do they possess that ability, that oversight?
Where is it? I have it here. It says essentially that the minister can direct how certain things are done. So it's not like the FID has complete independence, and can just run about and do whatever they want and things like that. For example, even to engage overseas partners with this investigation, they must go to the minister and get the minister's approval. And there are several other things that they have to do. There's several other things that they have to do to get the minister's approval. And so if the minister said, you know what, I'm not going to, I think this is it here. If the minister said, I'm not going to go forward with this thing here, then it's a problem. And I'll show you exactly. Let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about, because that's a good question you asked. That, like, essentially, are they independent? All right. Look at this for me. Let me show you something. Present, share screen. All right. This is all right, people. This is the Financial Investigations Division Act. This, we can't get it any bigger. This is the law that governs FID.
Yes.
Right? Now, if you go to section 5, here we go. 5. It says, subject to the provisions of this act, the division shall advise the minister on matters of policy relating to the detection, prevention, and control of financial crimes, collect, receive, blah, 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 and then talk to the minister about a whole bunch of things. Now, there's a section here. I've written it down. Let me see. There's a section there that, hold on, there's 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, 3. Look at 3. Where is it? All right. Look at it. The objects of this act is to establish a department of government with sufficient independence. I don't like that word sufficient.
Mhm.
And it says sufficient independence. Sufficient means that you're not completely independent.
Mhm.
It should just come out and say, we're establishing a department with independence. I know why they don't have you know why they use the word sufficient? Because they have to report to the minister everything that they're doing. You see now, like integrity commission, nobody knows what they're doing, right? Until they're finished, and then they table their report and they say they can't talk about it. But here they're saying, well, you have sufficient independence. And when you go through this act, you see the minister all over it. All over it. Let me show you another one. Investigate arms length 3B1 4 that's the one where the minister is involved in that one there. And then E. Look at E. Look at E. E's quite interesting, right? It says, I'm going to go back to 5A. It says, subject to the provisions of this act, the division shall, and then you go to E, investigate or cause to be investigated at the request of the DPP, the police commissioner, or any other public body. No, remember they were saying that, oh, you can't give it, integrity commission can't turn the investigation over to FID. Well, look at E. He says yes. He says the DPP, the police commissioner, or any other public body. Yeah, and integrity commission is a public body. So this argument what they make is just pure nonsense. Then when you go to 7, where is it? 7. Here, look at 7. It said the minister may, after consultation with the chief technical director, that is their head person, give to the division such directions of a general character as to the policy to be followed in the exercise of its functions. Look at the last part. As appear to the minister to be necessary in the public interest, and the division shall give effect to the direction. So what that means is that if the minister is the one who sit above and say, hey, you know what, I don't think this is in the public interest. No, so just scrap this thing here. We're not going any further with it. The minister has the right to do that.
Okay. All right. So let us talk about strategy here, Ratty.
Yeah.
Because we see where that is going.
Right.
Right. And so then obviously we can't go around that because it is what it is. So then let us talk about strategy. And
okay.
I hope Phil is listening. Right. And so the strategy is would it be prudent for FID to rush into this investigation or to utilize delay tactics and try to reach a change of government?
Well, here's the thing. Couple things. Well, several things. One is if the minister can shut this down, right? The minister can just say, based on 7, the minister can sit down with the chief technical director and just say, look, I don't think this is necessary to move forward with this thing. And it says, and the division shall give effect to the directions. If she direct them to shut it down, then they're going to have to go shut it down. Now, here is something that we should be mindful of. Minister Favour Williams, she has a history of trying to put the kibosh on things, shut things down. If you remember Denzel, I can't remember Denzel's last name, up at UA, the professor who they were looking for somebody to head one of the departments up at UA. And this gentleman scored higher than everybody else in the written and in the oral. And it was alleged that he's a member or he's a supporter of the PNP. And she said, no, we're not going to approve it. We have to give this some thought. And they even threatened to pull funds from UA. And it was only when the students across UA, not only in Jamaica, but across UA in the Caribbean, they started saying, no. This guy, he's supposed to be in charge of that department because he scored higher than anybody else. And it was only through a show of force in terms of numbers that she relented and she said, okay, fine. So I'm not putting it past her now for there to come out and say, well, you know what, we're going to shut this thing down, and then just shut it down. And you see, that's why this program is so helpful and is so essential, because you keep focus where focus should be. Because I'm not telling you, Mystic, had it not been for you and other programs, this you wouldn't hear anything more. Should have shut it down, and that will be the end of it. And people are wonder a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever happened to that case there? And the case finished. So strategy, the first thing is that we have to shine the light on her role to say, look, we know you have the right, can't shut it down, but you better not shut it down, because guess what? It's not in the public's interest for you to shut it down. Exactly. Then what we have to do is she might pass the buck on to the JCF and the DPP. And the DPP, as we know under the Constitution, the DPP can decide, can decline to prosecute, and there's nothing that anybody can do, right? All of this will happen under the cover of darkness if we don't keep shining that light. If our bulb go out, I'm telling you, if our bulb go out, or we don't flip that switch in the on position, you won't hear anything more about it, and it will just die a slow and natural death like all of these other issues. And years from now, people say, whatever happened to that? And when you force them say, oh, the DPP declined to prosecute. And people say, wait, for a day or two. And then that's it. It's over. Yeah. So I'm happy that you are out there championing the cause for the people, shedding the shining the spotlight on this issue, so that this issue doesn't die, because there are several ways they can end this. They can end it with FID and the Ministry of Finance. They can end it with the police, and they can end it with the DPP. And guess what? They're in charge. They have the power. They can do it.
Yeah. There's a question there on the portal there. Can the opposition party challenge the minister if she decides to shut down the investigation?
See, that's an important question.
Exactly.
A very important question. And here's how I would address it. The opposition party, the civil society, the religious community, the business community, and all the other stakeholders, they should not wait for the minister to do this before raising Cain. What they should do is they need to start raising Cain. No, say, minister, we are watch you. Don't let her do it, and then you say, minister, what you doing? No, tell her from now, minister, we're watching. We're watching. Let justice take its course. Let justice take it. Let the FID do what it's supposed to do. Do not interfere with this thing. We need to get that message out to her. No, we have to be proactive. We can't wait for her to do it and then we'll come and say, because it's going to be a 9-day wonder. No, once you do it now, you should know, okay, they might watch. That's true, Larkland, but only on some issues they've challenged. There are many more issues they could have challenged the government on. And so this one I'm saying, but you see what I'm saying, Larkland? That's reactive. You know, something happened and then you go and try and fix it. I'm saying prevention better than cure.
Yeah.
Let them know that you're watching it. Let them know, just like a mystic come here every night, him come on and they must shine the light and say, look, people, see what's going on here. And we know they're watching. Do that and dare them to take action. That's what you do. You do that and dare them to take. Don't let them do it first and then you come out and then you have to go sue them and then you have to go wait, months or years. Or in some instances, we don't do anything except a 9-day wonder. We get up and we yell and scream, and then after that, guess what? You don't hear anything more, and then another issue comes up, and then we start chase the shiny object. We're gone after that issue, and we'll forget about this one. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't wait. I would just go right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I would write the minister a very nice letter and say, Minister, congratulations on your new position. Know you will do well. There's a pending investigation, and we are counting on you to ensure that justice is truly administered, and that if any party is found wanting, that they should be brought before the bar of justice. And we stand with you on it. Put that in the file. 1 hour. But you can't sit back and make her do it and then.
Definitely.
Hold on. Somebody here want to ask Mr. Rattigan a question. So he's asking if he can call.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and call in a mic.
All right. So we are going to open the phone lines in terms of anyone who want to call and speak to Mystic Sensation or speak to Rattigan. Please do so. Right. So we are giving maybe a 10 minutes gap for anyone who want to call. And then if no one want to call, then we're coming to the close of the show tonight.
Good night.
Okay, good night. You're on Mystic Sensation, my friend.
Yes, Mystic. Enough respect to the podcast. I love what you guys are doing, especially Rattigan.
Blessings.
Rattigan, I love how you investigating matters. Trust me.
All right.
I really appreciate
Yes,
it. But the question that I have, I watched a past podcast earlier today. I think it was about PBD production. He spoke about a company that was awarded the contract rights to the mining in the country. But then he was alluding to the fact that the shares or ownership of the rights were transferred to another company which was not registered up to now in the company's office of Jamaica. So I was asking if it's possible to ask Rattigan to look into that. To which company, whichever contractual obligation, it was transferred to, because up till now, it has not been registered in office, the company's office of Jamaica. So we're wondering now, there's a big mining contract being offered by the government, right? I think it was raised by a PNP senator. I can't remember his name. But this is something that I think we need to have look into, because this is billions of dollars being transferred from one company to another, and there's no record. So that's an issue I think we need to look into. I also wanted to touch on a little bit regarding the director of investigation. He made a comment in the House saying it would be foolhardy for him to give away his investigative procedures, meaning he not tell you where him look. Right? He want you come question you give him an answer, and then he go to work and find out say you lie. Right? So I think Rattigan real issue, he should have been doing more. But I'm saying Rattigan, the man, no want to give it, the whole thing before he catch the rat. He want to catch the rat before he give it anything. So he's trying his best, I think, in the report as well, to word it in a way where he's not giving away too much information. That's what I think, He's very smart. I find him a very intelligent person, right? The director of investigation. And I share your concerns with the director of prosecutions as well. I think she could have spoken more on certain issues, key issues, and she did not. In terms of charging the Prime Minister, I don't think it's enough. They have enough information now to move forward with a charge. They wanted to investigate more, but he was just not giving them the documents. And ADMAT, oh gosh. ADMAT must have been using some financial tool to purchase those shares. Why are we not hearing about that financial tool that was used? This is something that is really weird, because there's no way ADMAT could have been, making purchases without any form of financial tool. They must have used some form of financial tool, and we need to know what it is. We need to know how much money it is that we're going through their coffers, if they have any, because basically he's saying they don't have any, so where store the money? This is a quick question I think we need answered. But I just want to say, guys, keep up the good work. I watch your program every night.
Blessings.
Trust me. Every time you guys are on here, I watch the program because it's very informative.
Thank you.
Ratigan, go easy on the director of investigations, please.
Yeah. Let me
answer that.
Wait a minute, Kevin Stevenson. That's the
Yes.
director of investigation. Look, he acquitted himself quite well in Parliament. No doubt, the gentleman, he has a good mind, you know. But must keep in mind that he's not the one doing the investigation. They have worker bees. He's the one at the level where the everything percolates up to him, and then he kind of like sifts through it and make sure that it gets to the commission and all of that stuff. And then they're pressed for time. Here is a problem I have with Kevin, right? As I'm leader, the signal I would send to my people, and it would be more than a signal, it would be a direction, is this: you don't ask questions if you don't know the answers of a subject. You don't. What that means, it means that you have to go out and do your homework. Yeah, and you don't interview people 2 or 3 times, right? What that tells me, once you start the 2 or 3 times, it tells me that them give you something and you never prepare for it, and then you have to go back, go find out, and then come back. No. Once you get that report, that referral from the commission that came from the information and complaint division, then you go to work. And you have the power as the Integrity Commission to ask all of these financial institutions questions. Plus, you also have the power to engage with foreign partners. Of course, you have to do it with. There's a problem again, because you have to do it with the permission of the minister. That's what the act says, that you can do it, but you have to do it with the permission of the minister. Just foolishness, right? Because the minister gonna know what going on, and you know it go. But that's what I would do. I would make sure, say, we hit the ground running and we get all the information we can get. We sit down, we plan, we strategize, all of that stuff. You get all the, so you only sit down with them one time, just one time. And that's it. When you sit down, you're not going to no argument with anybody, you know, and say, well, how come you did say this, but no, you said this, that. No, you're not no argument. You just ask the questions and say, thank you very much. We will talk later on. And that's it. You finish.
All right. Here you go.
One second.
Yes, Patrick, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead with your questions.
To you and your lovely wife and your guest, Mr. Ratigan.
Thank you, sir.
Now, initially, when this illicit enrichment case came about, and I was saying on social media that I personally had a concern about FID's role in the investigation, simply because FID's boss was the Minister of Finance, right? And I was even suggesting that the government is really the lawmaker. So FID and all of these entities were really set up to catch private sector people, not government, because government was expected to be of
Sound character.
Unquestionable integrity according to the Prime Minister, right? And then I was told when I queried that FID is affiliated to international organizations. So they basically cannot be tainted by government, although they're a part of government, right? But listen to Mr. Ratigan now. It's telling me that my original fear about to the extent to which FID can be independent and is investigating the Prime Minister, who is basically his bigger boss, so to speak. Because the Minister of Finance answers to the Prime Minister anyway, and the whole system. So, you know, I am right back to square one, but be that as it may, can FID engage the services of the FBI? Is that possible? And which international organization as a body, like what I was told that FID was really aligned to, that would cause them to be independent? And that is basically, at this stage, when I thought it was done and dry, based on my first concern. And now, based on what Mr. Rattigan says, put me right back to square one as to really and truly the ability of FID to, investigate thoroughly and completely. So that is one. And the second one is just to find out if FID can engage the services of the FBI in this issue. That's basically it. So I will hang up and listen for the response.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Go ahead.
Yeah. There's a group called Egmont, and it's a group of financial investigators and analysts. It's an international organization. Jamaica is a part of that. So Jamaica can engage Egmont to do certain things. However, they cannot do it without permission of the minister. And I'm trying to find the section in the act, because I read it, that they can establish international cooperation with their colleagues, but it has to be sanctioned by the minister. Them just can't go out and do it. In fact, guess what? It's the same principle with the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission can reach out to the FBI, CIA, DEA, whoever them want to reach out to. But the minister plays a central role in that. The minister must know about it and approve it. And it's the same thing here with the FID. So that's why I'm saying that they have limited independence. They don't have unlimited independence. They don't have true independence where they can just go out and do whatever they want to do in the interest of justice and for the benefit of the people. No, they have somebody who's exerting oversight who can say, no, I don't want that to happen. For whatever reason, you would hope that that wouldn't happen. But whoever put that in the law, and I guess I have to agree with the caller that this wasn't meant for government. Because if it was meant for government, they wouldn't hamstrung them. They wouldn't limit them this way. They would just say, look, you have independence to look wherever you want to look, right? You're truly independent. But that is not the case. But I will find it. I'm going through it right now. I'm going through it right now. And there's a section in here where they say that, yes, you can work with international partners, but you have to get the permission of the minister. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Well, very good response, dear Ratty. Right. And you can see as it relates to how the laws.
I found it. Here,
Okay.
Here we go. Let me throw it up right there. So. See it right there, so.
Okay.
All right, section 12, right? It says, subject to the provisions of this act, the chief technical director may, that is the chief guy, the number one guy, may, with the approval of the minister, enter into a contract, a memorandum of understanding, or other agreement or arrangement with a public body in Jamaica, which they have done with the Integrity Commission, or a foreign financial intelligence department or association of such departments. And the FBI would fall into that category.
So the operative wording that we need to look on there is with the approval of the minister.
With the approval of the minister.
That is the operative.
Right. So that is what I don't like. That shouldn't have been there. It should be like, yeah, do whatever you need to do to get the job done. But it says and if you take out that phrase with the approval of the minister, it would read, subject to the provisions of this act, the chief technical director may enter into a contract memorandum of understanding or other agreements, blah, blah, blah. That's what it would read. Meaning that, yeah, you may do it if if you feel like, but then when they insert with the approval, it means like if they don't get the approval, how you going to do it? The approval is an impediment. I don't like that language.
Yeah. See,
I don't like
it. I see that, Ratty. All right.
I don't like it. Take it away.
All right, take it away. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we come to, a well-informed night. And, Rattigan, right, although he joined us a bit late, he come and he put the flowers, right? And we love that, right? And, of course, gave us some education as it relates to questions being asked. So I want to say, Ratty, a big thanks to you all the time. You don't know it go. Right?
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Remember, people, to make sure that you understand and tune in to Rattigan on, of course, tomorrow.
You're going to be on tomorrow.
You're on tomorrow, Ratty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make sure, people, go over, visit.
But no cut off yet. You know, because hey, me tell you, say, you see people, you see when we say me can't sleep, I this me I do a night time for I mean I do it for myself. So this is what me I do a night time, me I read them things. Right now, me I read so much things right now. Is like is that if it's the stuff for me I have to do. By the way, the Integrity Commission, not the Integrity, ATI, ISAT claim say they must afraid of me or something because them respond to me. I get a response to them, but sometimes they don't give me the full response. But at least them respond. But I want to take a look at this again. This is another piece of the same act where confirm what me I say or reaffirm what me I say.
Yes.
This is 7. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
Section 7. All right, look at section 7. It says, subject to the provision of this act, the minister may, upon the recommendation of the chief technical director, which means that may means him not have to do it. But it says, the minister may, upon the recommendation of the chief technical director, enter into any agreement or arrangement in writing with the government of a foreign state, an international organization, or a foreign financial intelligence department, or an association of such departments, regarding the exchange of information relevant to the investigation or prosecution of a financial crime. Now, you see what happened? This is a twist of the one we just read, because one we just read, it says that the technical director, him can do it with the approval of the minister.
Yes.
No, this one said the minister can do it based on the recommendation of the person, of the chief technical director. So either case, the minister is central to it.
Yes.
The minister is central. So the minister is the one who going to say, okay, the technical person going to come and say, listen, why you going in agreement with them guys so we can share some information? Because generally speaking, these people don't do things verbally. It's written. So them come and say, well, why you get involved? Like, for example, with FBI, blah, 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 they have to draft a letter or whatever. The minister might say, no. And then now here the chief technical director will come to the minister, and the minister may or may not do it. I mean, what I don't remember what number one that was. What number one that? Okay, here it is. All right, look, people, I want you to do this for me. Because I run out of time. I want you to go to the Financial Investigations Division Act and read section 12, right? We say that the chief technical director may enter an agreement provided the minister has approved it. I want you to read that 12, section 12 right there, and then I want you to come back and then you read 7, subsection 7. We say, subject to the provisions of this act, the minister may, upon the recommendation of the chief technical director, enter into any agreement to do the same thing.
Yeah, but Ratty, I want to go back there, right? And as it relates to the essence of English language, right? The word may given a layaway, right, where they can seek such entity. Doesn't have to.
Right.
Have to.
Right.
Right. Go through the minister. Based on what I'm
No.
seeing. Ratty, you what it says, Ratty?
Go ahead.
That subject to the provision of this act, the minister, right, may upon recommendation of the chief technical director, may upon recommendation. If it said that subject to the provision of this act, the minister, right, must, on the recommendation of the chief technical director, would be saying something more forceful.
That's my point. That's my point. That the minister have the prerogative, the minister have the discretion. Because him said may, so it means that he may or he may not do it.
May not. Yeah.
Yeah, but take a look at this one here. Take a look at this 9. Look at 9. 9 says the minister may make regulations concerning the exchange of information relevant to the investigation or prosecution of a financial crime. He said, I don't like this kind of language. First of all, the minister shouldn't be involved in this, man.
Yes, I agree.
It shouldn't. The minister, if you're a loyalist, if you have a minister who's a loyalist, who's loyal to a prime minister, and the prime minister on the investigation, you can see where this could be cause for mischief. You can see it.
Very problematic.
Because this again, to me, this both handicap, right, the FID investigators, and also, right, handicap the IC to some extent.
I agree. I agree with you. It's a huge handicap. Because here's why he's on the no, guess what happened now? The way this is written, you have to go to the minister, you know.
Yeah.
Before you do it. You have to go to the minister and say, Minister, I need your approval, or I need you to do this. The minister is central to everything that's going to be done. And the minister then has the prerogative or the discretion to say, no, I'm not going to do it. And then where that leave, you know, with the investigation? Leaves you nowhere. Because if you violate that rule, you're going to have a problem. If the minister says, no, I don't want you mentioning this to anybody, just leave it right where it is. And then you say, but Mr. Minister, we need information from overseas. And he say, I don't care. We're not going to deal with those people. You're stuck. You're stuck.
Ratty, let me ask you a question. If there is clear evidence that the minister ruling or make any decision in support of, you know, persons who who made a foul of the law, and there are clear evidence that the minister is trying to avoid, right, the rule of justice to prevail, can the minister charge?
Technically, let me move this. Technically,
we're talking about obstruction of justice.
Justice, yeah. Technically, the minister could be subjected to a charge if you can prove that the minister is standing in the way of the true administration of justice. Is obstructing justice, in other words, right? Where there is a certain avenue to go down to get information to conduct a prosecution, an arrest and prosecution, and the minister says, no, I'm not going to do it. Now, what they'll do is they'll come up with a reason. They just can't say no. They'll come up with some kind of reason, some flim-flam reason, and then some people just accept it and say, well, you know, the answer is no because of this reason. But to answer your question, yes, the minister could be charged for obstruction of justice. But will anybody will stand up? Who will stand up and do that? Nobody. That is the problem. That is the problem. Somebody just put inside the chat that we need a new constitution, and I'm going to make an argument, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, because Mystic, what we're going to do, we are going to start having constitutional law classes. So we're going to start out not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, and I'm going to have attorneys come on every Saturday and take a piece of the Constitution, and deal with it. But I've instructed some of them already that, listen, I don't want you to come and start speaking legalese where our people can't. Some of us won't understand. I want you to speak so that the person who did not go to school can understand exactly what their right, because it's going to be about their rights. It's going to be about their knowledge and their rights. What you should know about the Constitution and how it will affect you or your fellow man and what we need to do about it. So that's one of the things we're going to do, because most people, they don't have the time, they don't have the wherewithal, they really don't care to read things like this. But they would love to know that there is something in here that protects me. All right. So if something should happen, then here we go. And by the way, it's free information, because normally if you don't get it on the program, you're going to have to go make an appointment to see a lawyer for him to tell you the things that we are going to tell you starting not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And so we're going to start out, some people call it civics, some people call it constitutional education. One of the things that we're going to do, Mystic, is this. Very soon, the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs will mark its 2nd anniversary. Two of the things they're supposed to do. They're supposed to provide legal education to the public, and they're supposed to amend the Constitution. Well, we're going to show that they have wasted taxpayers' money, because when we're going to expose what they have provided to the Parliament for review, and then we're going to talk about what have they done in terms of educating the people about their rights under the Constitution and and the penal code and maybe the civil code as well. What have they done? We're going to step in that vacuum. We're going to step right into that vacuum, and we're going to provide the education to people. So people, if it's not this Saturday, but tune in this Saturday, because this Saturday, and I don't know if you watched a program last week, Mystic, but I forget bring up on a brother, A brother come tell me, say, because we get to 7:30, and as you know, we have to finish at 8 because people want to go support Kevin. And at 7:30, I say, watch out, we have the 3 main stories. We say, Kevin, we can't get to them. It don't make sense. We start and whet people's appetite and have to leave them high and dry. And this person put in the chat, say, me waste the time. That's why we can't get to the program, because I waste the first 45 minutes of the program. I'm say, hold on. I think to myself, the first 45 minutes of the program. First of all, it's not the first 45 minutes as a monologue, but the first section of the program. What do? We talk about stuff that some things will happen last week, some things that we're going to do this week, and then we talk about condolences to people who suffer losses. We talk about prayers for people who sick, and happy birthday greetings. And them going to tell me, say, I waste my time for talk about them things there. They won't tell me, say, I waste. So Kevin, I try beg for him, Kevin said, let me talk to him. So Kevin, I said, listen, you have an option, You can come and you listen attentively and you provide something that's constructive, or you can just go somewhere else. So when Kevin finished, me say, Kevin, me have an option too, And my option is, me no want him round here. I go back him. And me just joke him. Me get rid of him, man. It told me, you there show sympathy and empathy. You there show solidarity with people who sick, people who suffer loss, family losses, people, and then you want to celebrate with people who, a lady said to me, a lady right now in the chat said she lose her mother and father, and her daughter celebrate her birthday. And you want to recognize them people, because them people take time out from them busy schedule. Them never have to come, True. Them never have to come, but them come and them listen to you. And I tell people that, listen, I want you to provide an education for me as well. And there was a guy, me have him name, there's a guy who came on the program last week, Wednesday, and the man asked me some brilliant questions, some questions that I even gave the man a wrong answer. And I went, and the answer wasn't completely, it was 50% right, 50% wrong. But to me, if it's 50% wrong, it's wrong. Yes. And so he said no, and it forced me to go spend the time now, to go do the research and call attorneys in Jamaica and say, want to think about this. And I was wrong. I'm going to come on Saturday and say, brethren, you who ask them question there, want you come back, because this is what me expect an engagement where I can say some things to you, you check them out, you say some things to me, but in the end, we are educate each other, and we are by extension educate the public. So when you have a jackass who come on and come tell me, say, 45 minutes, may I waste time and things like that. I said, the hell with you. Because the thing when we did on the DPP last week, how long me have that prepared? Months. I'm just get that chance to do it because every time Jamaica full of so much content that every time you have something ready, you by Thursday you hear, hey, you're what, and somebody start calling you, somebody send you some stuff, and then you just say, all right, I have to do that story, right? Exactly. So me not no time for people like that when them come. And me send out fear warning because me have a reputation as being a nice guy. The nice guy thing done. Because when they come and we have some monitors now in the chat, I tell them, say, the first time somebody make a statement, that is unproductive, something that is derogatory, trying to cause dissension in the ranks, you get rid of them. And it's not timeout, it's a permanent ban. Make them go away and come back with another name. And as them come back with another name, you get rid of them. So all of the people who have planned for come mash up the thing, you just know, say, you do it as soon as you put it out there, a gone. We know nothing. We don't know what we are keep. We are try to be friendly and we'll give people a chance. And because you hear what happened now. I'm here to take up the time because I know you have to go, but hear what happened now. The problem with it is that when them come and them start this nonsense, guess what now? The people who are interested for learn, them get distracted, and then them start argue with them, and then you have the back and forth, and then meanwhile you are talking, nobody now pay attention to you, right? And we don't need that. We need full attention because we want people for under. Because look, me spend the time for do it. I just hope that when you come spend the time for listen to it and ask your questions. Me want you ask questions. That is what me expect. Ask me questions and challenge me and say, Mr. Rattingham, you're wrong, man, because this thing here, I know that it mean, and this and that, and then we can have a fruitful discussion. But when you come and say, your program no good, and PNP around here, and we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. So people tune in tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the extension of the Saturday program. It's called, the Saturday program, as you know, is called Reason with Rattigan. The Wednesday night program is called Come Reason with Rattigan, because you come to ask the questions them, and I am your guest. Right, I am your guest. On Saturday, I have guests. On Wednesdays, I am your guest. And then, of course, we have the Sunday program. We have a Sunday program now, But never listen to this program bad like yours, We did 2 weeks ago, me and Kevin, a music program. And the people, them start real up and down. Them say, no, you can't do this for 2 hours, and have to do it for 3. But then we have to explain to them that, listen, we're at the beck and call, and we're under the supervision of the radio station, and they have DJs where they've allotted certain time slots, and we can't do anything about it. But this Sunday, and maybe the Sunday after, we have some superstars lined up for come on. Yeah, man, we have some superstars lined up for come on. Yeah. So the way we do it is that me and Kevin now we pick a genre, whether it's reggae. And me say, all right, Kevin, I'll play my top 5 from a particular artist or from a particular genre. You play your top 5. No clash. Me just give you my 5, you give me your 5, and then we tell the audience who want to hear from it, who want to give it the top 5. So what we end up doing is that for every 4 songs we play, 2 of them come from the audience. Me play 1 and play 1 from the audience. Kevin play 1 for himself and 1 from the audience. So every 4 songs, 2 come from the audience. That's one format. Another format is where we bring on some superstars and we play them music and we make them tell the people where them come from, where them going, the things where them like, the things where them dislike about the music. And it's all about music. About music. So we just want to kind of throw that out there and tell the people, if you want to spend a Sunday evening just watching an entertainment program, then you need to come and watch. It's called Easier Sunday with the Rebel. Easier.
Yes.
So
all right.
With this, thank you very much for having me.
You
on the chat.
Blessings. All right. I want to say once again a big thanks to Rattigan to pass through. We really appreciate Rattigan, and despite the technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
Rattigan.
Hopefully we sort it out and next week we won't have any problems.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, my brother and my sister. Take care of yourself.
Brother. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to say right? We love you all, and we want to say big thanks to you all for your support, and you're continuing to support us. We really appreciate that, right? And we love you, and that is one of the reasons why we have the strength, we have the energy, and we are continuing, right, to make sure that we are fighting for our people as it relates to good governance. I want to say blessings, right? God and good road. All right.
Okay, again, Umbrella, welcome to those who recently joined. The chat has frozen on me, so I can't type anything. So, welcome to those who recently joined, and I'm just gonna say, have a wonderful and blessed rest of the week.
All right.
And until we see you again on Friday, and Baron will be on the
Titans Thursday. All right.
Right. So, once again, safe travel on the gravel, and have a wonderful rest.
Blessings.
Bye.